This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, all of it is included with your Squarespace website. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code Bombcast to get 10% off your first purchase.
Hey, it's Tuesday, September the 6th, 2016. You are listening to the Giant Bombcast. Our prodigal Reichert has returned.
I'm back.
You are back.
Yes.
Your beard is terrifying.
Yeah, it's going to keep doing that probably.
Man.
Yeah.
Being terrifying?
Yeah, or more so. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is thick.
They should keep you out of a school zone with a beard like that.
I like it.
No, you can't.
It gets its own dandruff now. I need to start putting like dandruff shampoo in my beard.
Are you getting food stuck in there?
No, the mustache stuff started going over the lip, so I had to do a little trim thing here because I don't want like cheese and shit getting in my mustache.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a comb?
For my mustache?
Yeah.
No.
Beard comb.
No.
No beard comb.
I don't have like fucking products for
The thing is
facial
crazy.
hair. No.
It's wild. That's a New York beard,
Sure.
I guess. I don't
That's
know.
it.
I guess that's how they grow them out
Straight
there.
Williamsburg.
Is that in New York?
You're bringing
Yes.
San Francisco out there with a beard like that.
Greenpoint,
I need
what
to
up?
shave this immediately.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
more
I don't
or
want
less
to
what
infect
I'm,
New
More or
York.
less what I'm telling you.
Oh, God. Oh,
And
no.
also, New York already has it.
Oh,
They just
crap.
keep it to a specific section.
Is that Brooklyn?
Yeah,
Okay.
more or less.
I went there. It was nice.
I have a beard balm that I use.
What does that do?
It prevents the dandruff thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it
'cause,
also like make it soft?
Yeah, it does. Like I put lotion on my face because my skin gets dry and I can't get into the skin underneath the beard with the lotion. So I use that specifically to work it in. And
I was wondering
well.
about moisturizing with a beard as someone who's had this thing going for some length of time. It's like, yeah, you can't really get lotion through there. So it's been like, well, I guess this is, you just don't get to moisturize. How does this work?
yeah,
You know,
you,
with the store brand Head and Shoulders dandruff stuff that I used to use up here.
Nice.
I still have a
you
bunch
just
of that.
transferred it down to
Sure.
your,
Yeah, I
that
just
won't-
moved all the hair over
your
here.
chin parts.
Sure, that won't do anything terrible to your face.
It'd be fine, right?
Sure, it's fine.
It's
If
still
it-
part of
if
my
it-
head. Head
if
and
it works
shoulders.
for you.
My chin's
Okay,
part of your
okay.
head.
You know what? You're right.
This is all part of it.
That is 100% fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. How was New York?
Oh, God. It was great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, all right, top 3 things about New York.
The people, I think, are the number one.
Wait. Wow. Okay.
So I think
Not the
you get
answer
a-
I expected.
You get a variety of people
Yeah,
in New
sure.
York, which
sure.
is what I like.
I mean, just the stereotype about New Yorkers is very gruff and standoffish.
I don't know. I just saw people holding doors and talking
Yeah,
to people on the
okay.
streets more than Well, you see people talking to each other on the street in San
Or I
Francisco.
see
but
people
it's-
Talking
Yeah.
to themselves on the
Yeah,
streets.
that's
of
more
San
like it,
Francisco.
yeah.
Yes, there is that. I guess more charitably, what I mean is like everybody is in a rush and has to be somewhere and
Yes.
and don't give a fuck.
And I did definitely notice that how annoying tourists are as far as like when you're trying to just walk and like catch a bus or something. If somebody's just kind of like idling around on the sidewalk, like that's a huge pain.
I mean,
in
you
the
get that
ass.
here. You know, you get like 5 or 6 tourists walking all in a horizontal line.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just strolling down the street.
Yeah.
The sidewalks are much more crowded there, though, so
Yeah.
it's a little more of a problem.
I feel like I found that like people in New York are, if I could generalize, like more direct.
Yeah, and I like that.
There's-
I would say San Francisco seems more passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
San Francisco
yeah.
people would be more prone to go do a snarky tweet about you.
Yeah.
You know, whereas
They're
a
gonna
New
walk
York
past
person
you
would
and
be like,
go,
hey, fuckhead. Yeah.
Yeah.
New York, I like that approach a lot better.
You want people to call you a fuckhead.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Just want to know where you stand with them.
Yeah. I'd say the food as well,
Okay.
and I guess this also goes with the food thing is the cost. Because like there's a lot of really good food in San Francisco, but it's all like these like trendy things. Like the food trucks and stuff out here are like these like, oh, here's a fusion of barbecue and whatever, and it's, you know, everything's $15. In New York, there's a billion different types of food trucks, and it's like, oh, give me $2 and I'll give you something delicious. You know, $2 for like 2 slices of pizza and a Coke.
Sure.
Or there's a halal truck in front of the New York office where you $5 and I get like
I had that
falafel chicken
same
and rice.
pizza
and-
deal over in Oakland. I don't know what the big deal is.
Oakland's like 6 states away. I
No,
don't
it's
know.
not. It's
I've
a
lived here 2.5
15-minute
years.
drive.
I've gone to
Are you
Oakland like
serious?
3 times for wrestling.
Up where I'm at, there's a bunch of taco trucks and stuff like that. Yeah, it'd be like, you know, $5, $6 burritos.
See,
and, you know,
I like
great.
that type
what
of
you're
stuff.
looking for. Yeah.
But like I live in San Francisco and I don't have a car, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of stuck with this shithole. And so it's really hard to get to something like that. Everything's really expensive.
I mean, the taco truck right up the street here, it's like $8 for a burrito. It's
Yeah,
not-
that's
there's
that
still
one's
there's
not
still
bad.
reasonable.
and that's a
food.
really good burrito too.
Yeah, it
I
is.
like that
Yeah.
one.
Also, where we are right now is the epicenter of the epicenter
Yes.
for price gouging. People
Yeah.
going to lunch,
Yep.
businesses.
that LinkedIn building just opened across the street.
Oh,
just, like,
yeah.
reaffirming everyone to
Yep.
go like, oh, why don't we raise our prices a little bit more?
Well, and now you
all
have
the
to wait in
lines are
line.
an hour
Yeah.
long. Yeah.
So
I bring a lunch, so I don't leave the
Yeah.
building. I
Yeah.
drive into the parking garage. I get out of my car. I eat my lunch here. I go walk down to the parking garage, get in my car, leave.
yeah.
Fuck this place.
I can't say I blame you.
Yes.
There's
Yeah,
a place
way to
that
do it.
just opened up in our building too, and I think it's like $14 salads or something like
There's
that.
yes, there's definitely some expensive.
And then it's like-
some Niçoise over there.
What's your name?
or whatever?
Proper food.
Right.
Fuck you.
That's not bad. It's decent.
Oh, I'm sure it's
but it's
fine.
expensive.
I also
as hell.
noticed a thing about New York that's different than San Francisco is the like pride in your city type thing. Like everyone in New York seems to fucking love New York and will, like
Yes.
fight you if you disagree with them on that.
New Yorkers are all about being New Yorkers.
Yeah, and I've met a lot of people in San Francisco. I don't know if I can name one that's like, yeah, San Francisco is awesome.
I'd say some of the natives around here get very.
But all of those natives are the ones that are extra pissed off right now. You know that's why
Oh,
you're not
because
seeing
the
that
city's
is because
changed
the
so
city has
much.
changed
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah,
So all
yeah.
the people that are very much like that about this area have been beaten into the fucking dirt.
Yes, and also none of them live here anymore. They all had to move.
yeah, and
that's
they
true.
would probably
Part of the-
agree.
yeah.
Part of the reason they're mad.
They would probably agree that 2016 San Francisco sucks.
Yeah.
You know, they probably liked a San Francisco of a bygone era. Like,
I don't know anyone that likes this city right now.
Okay, yeah.
I don't
same
know
here.
a single person that is like
like
fully
San
on board.
Francisco.
I mean,
I
like,
would love
but
the
like,
city
but
if you're
in
not
terms
so
of like,
expensive.
yeah, everything's awesome.
I think it's pretty awesome here.
22-year-old millionaires seem to love it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do they? I don't even
Yeah,
like.
I
Do
don't
they
know.
love anything? You know, like,
Well, I
like
don't know.
they're just like, this is we made all this money, and I guess this is what I'm supposed to do with it now is to just like pour my empty life into this fucking very expensive apartment building.
Party on the Google bus.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It's
rough out
hard
here.
because a lot of the weird San Francisco and all that other stuff, I think, gets attached to a little bit of the Burning Man mentality and stuff like that, which actually is a good thing because it's, you know, you want San Francisco to be fucking weird.
Yeah.
You know, and that at least provided that because it's at some point in the past, Burning Man actually wasn't the fucking nightmare it is now, where you see all these fucking ads about, and again, it's the same fucking people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're chartering a helicopter over to Burning Man.
Right.
Like CEOs
Fuck
and stuff
you.
and
Yeah,
app
like a
dudes
fucking
going
a
there.
wagon train of air-conditioned RVs.
I don't even really like Burning Man, but I still can look
At
at that
least-
and go like, man, fuck
At,
off.
at least it was like legit back in the day.
Totally,
Like,
yeah,
At least
like,
it was
all-
actually just people wanting
yeah.
to go do drugs and
Yes,
fucking
my
the
friends that
deserts.
were going were like, we want to fucking build a weird art project in the
yes,
desert.
Yes, and drive their art car
Yeah,
around.
we're gonna fucking have whiskey for people. We're building a hillbilly shack out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do an audio tour and whiskey tasting. Like, of course you are. Yeah,
That actually
naturally.
sounds like over by my place. So they've got that American Steel building, so there's a lot of artists, and there's actually like art cars that drive around, and yeah, there's a lot of drunk hipsters over there. It's kind of cool.
I used to think that's the thing that I was going to hate about San Francisco before I lived here is like, it's just a bunch of hippies and
that stuff's
Grateful
cool.
Dead shit and stuff. And like now, on the rare occasion that I do see like some flower power bus or whatever, I think to myself like, I wish it was that.
Yeah,
I
totally.
wish it was those hippies.
fucking trillion%.
Yeah,
You know, like, that
but
seems-
even when I moved here 13 years ago, it wasn't like 60s style Summer of Love
Right,
hippie like flower power shit. It's just weird. It's
Yeah.
just a bunch of
I'd be
crazy
fine
stuff.
with that.
It was incredibly strange wrestling
Yeah.
doing shows.
Yeah.
It was, you know, like, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that made me want to. There was like a period of time where I was like, man, I wish I lived closer to here because there were a ton of great bands, a lot of their stuff happening, and yeah, just
a lot of just like unpredictable, strange culture,
right, yeah. And
and that stuff has gotten
that
crowded
stuff's
out.
been codified into, you know, like, well, now,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
the parade is the parade, and it happens on these days, and that's it.
Yeah.
And Folsom Street, you know,
Yes.
this happens here.
all
and
that
it happens
stuff
here, and
has
that's it.
all that stuff has gotten co-opted by the corporations that have overrun this place.
Yeah.
There are elements of the city that I really like.
They don't
Like,
even
I've
fucking
had a
let
really
you drink
good.
on Beta Breakers anymore.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking the dream is dead.
Although I hear it's legal to drink in like Ubers or
can't-
taxis.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw
maybe.
some-
If
like-
I can't drag a keg of beer down the street in a little red wagon,
Then why you?
I don't wanna live here.
Why, if you can't just like stand on a street corner and just get out of your fucking mind drunk while naked people run by, then why do you even live here?
Still a lot of naked
Yeah,
people.
still a lot.
that's true.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
naked people.
Because that part's not illegal. I think it's just if they were drinking, that would be bad.
If you're
Right.
causing a scene outside of just having your wiener hanging out, then you get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Welcome back.
The farewell
Sure
tour.
you're thrilled
Yeah.
to be
Speaking of
here.
wieners,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a few months maybe, depending on if
Yeah.
I can get out of my rent here. I think right now I'm probably aiming at like Christmas.
Okay.
Because we're doing Game of the Year, so no sense in going out after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and at some point we have to tell people internally that we want to do this, and maybe HR will be like, "What? No, you can't do that." We'll be like, "Well, we're doing it."
You already moved. Sorry.
Yeah.
We already played the match. It's over. The deal is sealed.
Exactly.
So.
So probably New Year's ish. We're definitely checking out legal stuff with rent and trying to get out of this damn lease, so I don't have to pay, like thousands of dollars a month until June.
Do you guys live together?
Yeah, Bianca,
Okay.
right? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But we have a roommate too, so there's a whole thing of original tenant, rent control is going to go out the window, and all that crap.
Ooh.
So
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, I bet your roommate hates you.
he's dealt with it well.
It's the losing the rent control part in particular.
Yeah, I know. Like we realize that must suck a lot, but we're working with him with
Yeah.
stuff. But like living in Manhattan is cheaper than living here.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, so I'm going to live
So
for a year in
crazy.
Manhattan.
If you didn't catch our live
yeah.
PAX panel, by the way, Dan Reichert is moving back to New York.
I am,
Right,
or to New York permanently.
Yes.
So do a year in Manhattan, working out of the East Office there, and I will continue to work there and probably get a house in Jersey or somewhere and commute in. But
You got a whole plan.
yeah. Like Vinny made a good point. He's like, if you don't do the year in Manhattan when you first get out there, you're not going to do it. Period. Because it's not like I'm going to get a house in Jersey and then do a year in
suddenly
Manhattan.
hang out in Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to live in New York City proper for a bit, so that'll be the first year, and then we'll get the house and everything. So
Wow.
Cool.
yeah,
Not a bad
very
plan.
exciting. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Who gets demo derby in the divorce?
I think we do.
I've got most
More
of
of
us.
a-
I want to see the writing on
We,
that.
we have all the discs here. So.
Can I have Snack Taku?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Wait,
take
are you
snack in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Just gonna give it up like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for the right opportunity to use it, and I think New York is where that thing was always
Okay.
best.
Oh, yeah,
published,
bring it back.
so,
All right.
Yeah.
So you can drive by their office and hang out the window of your car, flashing your snacks at them,
Exactly, yeah.
just rub it in.
Flash in your snack.
All right.
All right, I'll accept that.
So you bartered Snack Taku without ever exercising.
Exactly. No,
All right.
I've been sitting on the rights to that for
Okay.
a while, and I believe they have continued to use it. I was going to sue them, but they were already busy in court.
So can I sue them
it
now?
Probably,
Oh,
yeah. I think so. I don't know what you get, but yeah.
Okay.
Go down to Univision and give them what for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell them I'm a wrestler as well. It'll go great.
I got to find wrestling to do out there. Yeah.
I suspect there's probably way more wrestling out there
Yeah,
than there
yeah.
is here.
And I'll buy a car, so I'll be able to drive to things.
In New York?
Well,
Surely
once we
not.
do the house thing, I'm not
Okay,
going to
yes.
drive downtown New York. No way.
Right.
Yeah.
But it seems like just getting around even several states is easier than it is to go across town.
Oh, yeah.
here. So
I
All
was,
the states are smaller.
I was hanging out with Alex somewhere for a bit at PAX, and he was going to get an Uber afterwards, and he barely knew how to work the Uber app because that's how good public transportation
It's
is in New
fantastic.
York that you don't need Uber.
I was dreading the commute because I was staying with her family in Jersey, and it's an hour on a bus every day.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was going to be like the Muni here, and it's not. It's this giant air-conditioned bus,
Yep.
and it's nice and safe. And I can bring my
Cushion seats, I'm
laptop
sure.
out and write and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
So they got a good system out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will miss working with you guys out here, but the city itself, not as much.
Yeah.
We'll keep hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, we'll
see what happens.
open a job rec relatively soon
Yes.
here and see if we can drag someone else into this nightmarish city.
I heard it was Danny O'Dwyer.
Oh yeah, definitely,
it's
1,000%.
Is
Daniel
it?
Dwyer. Yeah, thanks for blowing our big surprise.
Damn it! We're not
Damn.
live though, right?
No, definitely.
We haven't
not.
started doing
we
that
can
yet.
edit this out. We
Okay.
can
You
edit
spent all that time composing that fake tweet.
that. Yeah, I know, right?
Now it's ruined.
Yeah. No, we are not hiring Danny O'Dwyer. Who
As much as we'd love to.
Yeah.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you-
I
if
like
you-
working with that dude.
If you were available.
But Alt F1 will continue
Yeah.
It will indeed.
with one Danny.
Nothing
O'Dwyer.
stops.
Yeah.
I'll have fun.
I talked to him as well, and it sounds like dancers might also.
Yeah.
Not with a frequency, but
Well, it didn't have a frequency.
Not so much. We didn't have an
recently
actual schedule.
So, it's fine. Yeah.
But you guys have solved all your life's problems.
true.
Everybody's getting married.
There's more
and
advice to
stuff,
the
Aren't there
Yes.
new ones that come up with that?
Yeah, probably. But
I'm gonna have to buy a house. You think I'm gonna understand how any of that works?
no.
I think
there you
it's
go.
well
That-
documented
that's
that you
true.
don't
Yeah.
understand how that.
I don't know how to fix anything. I don't know what mortgages are. Well, I kind of do now.
Oh man.
I also do not know how to.
You think the
anything.
process of buying a house is complicated? Try maintaining
Well,
one.
I'm going to work with Vinny.
Okay.
So
yes.
he's going to
Good
get a lot of
resource.
questions.
Vinny is a guy that knows about
You've
home
got a guy
improvement.
then. Is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
I got
All
a guy.
Good.
Yeah.
If,
Yeah,
uh,
I've got a guy. You need a guy.
If
Yeah,
your,
I
if
got
your
a guy.
router is ever to become submerged in poop, for instance,
Yeah?
Vinny can help you out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have kids, though, so, there's way less poop in the house.
There are pipes full of poop
That's true.
everywhere. It's New York.
Okay.
It's New York, New Jersey, especially New Jersey.
Yeah.
Built on poop.
That's where we ship it from here
Yeah.
out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where it goes.
That's our primary export.
That's what that one Springsteen song was about.
Right.
Born to Run, I think it was called.
Yeah. It's Thunder Road. I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I get them confused all the time.
Dan, have you had time to play any video games in
Yeah.
the course of your travels?
Yeah, I didn't have my PC with me in New York, but I had my PlayStation, and I talked on the Beastcast about all the stuff I was playing there, Overcooked and all that. But recently, I beat AM2R,
Okay.
which
Nice.
is just great.
Yeah,
Like,
start to finish?
91, 92%
Okay.
item completion or whatever.
Okay, if
Yeah.
you get over 92%, then they take you to jail at the end of it.
Oh, okay,
for,
so
for breaking the law.
Yeah,
So
better
stop
okay.
there. It's a
Oh,
good thing
thank
you
God.
stopped there.
Okay. It's as good as any Metroid
Okay.
has ever been.
Okay. Yeah, I
It's-
know you saw we played it a little bit on UPF, and I
Yeah.
think we were all pretty impressed with it
Man.
for that little bit.
I played with that Super Nintendo controller that
Oh, yeah,
Drew
the-
recommended to me, the 8-bit do.
8-bit dough.
Yeah. It's incredible. Bluetooth controller,
Yeah.
just plugged in, to my TV with laptop HDMI. It was amazing. It was so good. It's as good as Super Metroid or Zero Mission or Fusion.
Man.
I love all those 2D Metroids. This is right up there with all of them. I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, it's just a Metroid-ass Metroid game,
Yeah.
but they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Just super polished. The music, the controls, all the new abilities, the new enemies, map areas. They absolutely nailed it.
Did you ever play Metroid 2 at all? Previous, like the
no,
original?
so that
Like-
was the
like-
that was the only 2D Metroid I never played.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like the first Game Boy. I hate the Game Boy. I owned one, and the only game I ever had was Tetris.
And that Metroid game was like, you could see that there was some cool stuff there,
Yeah.
but it was just rough. The
Like,
movie-
there was no
the
map.
size
It
of
was good for what they had to work
yeah,
with.
yeah.
Like it was kind of impressive, but
Yeah, I heard it was a good game, but I just don't like the Game Boy.
yeah, it was.
even
it was
like,
rough to play through that thing.
Yeah, even as much of a Mario fan as I've always been, I never even wanted to get the 6 Golden Coin games. Later on, once they were on Virtual Console on 3DS, I played through them
I was
both.
gonna say those are both Super Mario Land 1 and 2.
First Super Mario Land has got such a place in my heart.
Yeah, it's short, but it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Remember when you get in that airplane?
Yeah, that second one's fucking.
It's an
awesome,
airplane.
Yeah, they're good games, but when it was on the Virtual Console, the screens looked so much better. That's why I finally played through it on the 3DS, but not the original. So I don't know how much it's changed from 2, having never played that one. It sounds like they've changed quite a bit.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
But whatever they did, play it if you've ever enjoyed a Metroid game. Like, obviously, Nintendo's taken it down from places, but goddamn it, it's great.
Yeah, it's still out there.
Yeah.
if you want to do the legwork.
Yep.
The internet remembers.
Yes.
Also, Picross 3D2 is probably the best video game ever made.
Man,
I don't doubt it. It's
Man.
is that like free to start and then they?
I don't know.
charge
I just got the
after
full one,
fact,
right?
or- Okay.
Like the first Picross 3D and even Picross DS, the 2D one.
Yeah.
They're the perfect DS games, and 3D is so good. And I didn't know how they were going to expand upon it because the first one had so many puzzles already.
Mm-hmm.
But they've just changed so much about it, and it's so much harder. It's so much more complex.
Okay, cool.
I didn't even play the first one. Is it literally 3D? Like are there actually?
Yeah, they're cubes. It's
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
You
You rotate
rotate
them.
actually, but
Do
it's a
spin a
3D
cube?
object that you're
Okay.
spinning around. You should fucking play that
I
thing, man.
really like Picross.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Like, I do too. I like 2D Picross,
Yeah,
but
but-
3D just blows it out of the water.
Man,
I've been playing Mario. It's it didn't come out here, but it's like Mario Picross 2 for Game Boy recently to get my Picross fix.
Yeah.
And yeah. That's.
I didn't realize they were
What do you-
making Picross games
what do you play?
that long ago.
Yeah.
What do you
on
play
Game
now?
Boy.
I mean, it's a Game Boy game. Anyway, it's so yeah. That 3D Picross, that first one, fucking awesome.
Yes. So good.
So good. So and they brought this one out in Japan like a while ago. So it was like that feeling of like, well, they're gonna have to announce this eventually. And sure enough, like last week, it was like, hey, it's here now.
Yeah, download it right now. Like,
Yeah.
I almost bought a Japanese 3DS just for this game. Like, that's how much I love Picross 3D. And man, I expected it to be really good and to spend a lot of time with it. But especially as someone who is a major completionist with that, like I play everything on the hardest. If I screw up once, I restart the puzzle, and there are usually hundreds of puzzles in these things. This is so hard, and it's just so much time just staring at these puzzles and just rotating around them. And it's a 3D object, so you're they have these sliders, so you can cut to the middle and see, and you have to It's hard to describe without seeing it.
You get in the zone with it eventually. Like that stuff is really intimidating when you first start. Also,
Yeah.
So if this one starts harder than the first game, I
don't-
might actually say play the first one first.
Well, yeah, because this one starts right out of the gate with these two color things. So there's blue and orange.
Oh, shit.
So you'll see a line of 9 blocks, and it'll be well, you've got a circle 3 orange, which means there's 3 orange blocks, but they're not all consecutive, and then you've got 5 consecutive blues. And then you can mark them like, okay, I'm going to mark this like this is probably blue or this is probably orange. But then you have to paint it.
Yeah.
And the orange ones, once you finish a line, they can become curved. So like you can make like a screwdriver and it's like a cylindrical thing here, but then it becomes like it's so much more complex than the first one, and I fucking love it. Like I will spend easily 100+ hours with this game.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough. But yeah, if you haven't played the first 3D, get that one. It's probably pretty cheap. I mean, you can get it on eBay or whatever for real cheap. But man, as someone who played the hell out of that, this one is great to see now.
Wow. Remind me of how it works. Is it basically you start with like a 3D cube and then you're chipping away?
Yeah, imagine like a Rubik's Cube, you know. All the blocks are the same size, and it could be, 3 by 3, or it could be this huge thing, and there are numbers. So if you see a 0 on the edge, you know that none of those blocks down that whole column or row are going to be in the puzzle.
Okay, so this is like 3D Sudoku.
Oh, yeah,
it's similar. If you like that type of stuff, like logic puzzles.
Yeah, it's similar deduction-based stuff.
Yeah, it's not math-based.
Like process of elimination kind of stuff.
So do you know like normal Picross?
I've never
It is
played one.
Sudoku-like.
I've seen you guys play.
Okay, yeah. Okay. It's Sudoku-like, but not all that Sudoku-like.
Okay.
There is a free-to-play Pokemon Picross with like 2D Picross, like, so you could go get that for free if you just want to see how it works.
I think a Zelda one too, right?
Really?
There's a free
so.
one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, or free to start or whatever.
Yeah.
And this one, the Picross 3D 2, is free to play?
They have some demo you can download.
Okay.
I don't know the extent of that because I went right into the full one.
How much is the full one?
30.
30, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which,
wow,
I mean,
that's okay.
I would pay more for it.
I mean,
happily.
I just wasn't sure about the size of the game. I think that's okay. That speaks to okay.
Which, by the way, I forgot that this had amiibo support. So there's all these amiibo exclusive puzzles. So I'm deep into this game right now, and I remembered it had amiibo support upon finishing, like lovingly wrapping each individual amiibo in bubble wrap and packing it for the thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here having to dig through it and hope that the
It'll
Bowser
read through
amiibo can read
Surely
through.
they scanned through the bubble wrap.
They did, but I mean, there were a few I couldn't find.
And I'm sure this thing has plenty of puzzles, but I don't know how I feel about locking up like the meat of the game behind amiibo shit.
No.
It's like- what is it? It's like
it's like
one
10
puzzle.
puzzles.
Oh, is that it?
Out of like hundreds,
Okay,
probably.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
all right. That ratio sounds all right then.
Yeah. It's like, scan the link one and you'll get a link.
Oh, so it's just
puzzle
one. It's
or
just
whatever.
one puzzle per amiibo or something. Okay, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Oh, it's not the meat at all. It's
okay.
like 0.05%.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, Drew, back to like how it works. Let's say there's a line and there's a 5. Let's say there's a row of 10 blocks and there's a 5 on the edge of it. That means there are 5 of those will be used for the final thing. So it's a matter of chipping away at.
And if it's a 5, that means there'll be 5 in a row. Whereas if it was a 2 and a 3, then you have 2 consecutive, then some amount of space. I'm talking about 2D Picross here mostly.
Right.
Where you'd have 2 and then some amount of space and then 3. So it's about that deduction of like looking at all the numbers along the edge to figure out like, okay, well, let's say you're working with a 15 by 15 puzzle. If the number is just 12, then you know that most of the ones in the middle have to be part of it because 12 blocks all the way to the left or all the way to the right are going to have a bunch of shared blocks in the middle.
Yeah.
So you can mark all those as these are definitely part of it. You just don't know which edge it goes out to.
And you're looking at other axes.
Yeah, you start off.
This
You,
one.
you start off looking at the intersections
All
of
right.
lines to say,
Mentally,
okay, there
that
has to be
sounds-
one here.
Mentally,
Yeah, it's fun.
sounds a lot like Sudoku.
It's
it's
similar.
very similar.
Yes.
Yeah, and even though there's numbers, there's 0 math. I know that scares off a lot of people. With
There's no math
Picross
in
and
Sudoku either,
exactly.
but yeah.
Like that scares off people in both of those games.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that at all. It's a lot of cross-referencing. Looking at Picross 2D will just have the 2 points of reference, but now it's a lot more with 3D and rotating around.
Does Nintendo own the Picross trademark? I think they do, right?
No, I mean,
Or
For standard Picross.
no, I mean,
like
other
the
people-
name, not the concept.
people have used other names for
That's
it.
what I'm asking because like you see occasionally games like this pop up
But
there's
there are
a-
other games that I've
there's
used
one on the
word
Vita
Picross.
that I can't remember the name of.
That's
at
a
the moment.
Sketch Cross.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm just surprised there aren't more of these games on other platforms.
Yeah.
They do it big on Nintendo stuff.
I got into Ken for a while on iOS. It was like relatively similar to like Sudoku. And
Now that I think about it, I can't think of other things other than Nintendo using Picross like that. Paint it back.
Yeah,
That's an iOS
Yeah.
one.
But like Picross existed before Nintendo used it, so
Right.
it's not like they own.
Okay.
Well, maybe they
Maybe it's
they
just
have
the
some
term.
rights to the term. But I want to say that like the ones that were coming out in Japan from your homeboys at Hamster,
Yeah.
I believe they use the word Picross there.
Okay.
Huh. Well, long story short, if you like logic puzzles,
Picross,
it's among the best. So
Nice.
yep.
Yeah.
Anything else, or
That's the main stuff.
busy trotting around the globe?
Yeah, the usual Overwatch
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah. Oh well, Link to the Past.
Just randomly.
Yeah, I mean,
annual playthrough.
I play through it a couple times a year, and so I set up that Kindle thing that Drew recommended to me. So I played through about half of it on the way out to Jersey.
Have you messed with that like that ROM hack that randomizes the items?
I want to. I definitely plan on doing that. So not yet though.
Sounds crazy.
Seems interesting.
Also, Shenmue.
Oh yes.
Oh right, yeah. You watched someone play through all of Shenmue.
In a
I'm
month.
sorry.
There were a couple marathon days of like 7 hours of Shenmue in a day.
man.
Yeah.
You poor souls.
That's the best way to
I remember
play that.
you guys were getting down to it the last couple days, and we were like doing planning stuff, and
Yeah.
you're like, you guys were like, we can't do anything else today. We have to play all of this Shenmue.
Well, one of the days was
Also, if you missed our PAX
Yeah.
panel,
Yeah, it's
or,
on the
or
site.
Have not looked at the website.
yeah,
Yes.
we are doing a new endurance run.
Yes,
Yeah.
Vinny is playing Shenmue for the first time.
Or should we say did?
Yeah, I did.
It's all recorded.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
It's all in
going,
the
going
can.
up. So that's going up every
Every
weekday.
weekday. Yeah.
Yeah, and also memberships are on sale
Hey,
Yes.
right now for the next couple of weeks. So if you're a new subscriber, I think you get it for $29.99. You can renew for $35. That'll be on for a couple of weeks if you want to sign up and check it out.
Yeah.
Giantbomb.com. There's a news story on the
Yes.
front page about it, but I think it's giantbomb.com/upgrade. I think we'll get you there directly.
Yep.
Yeah, check it out.
Excellent.
I loved that. Like, I was the only one of the three that had beaten the game before. I beat it back in the day when it came out, and I liked it a lot back then. That said, if I was playing for
Because
the
you were
first time now,
dumb.
I was dumb and young. No, actually, back
No.
then, I will defend Shenmue in like 99, 2000. It did some really cool things. It was more ambitious than it could really handle.
Yep.
In
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of ways, it was ahead of its time.
It was.
Yeah.
Hey, I might have an experience in the snow. You might have it in the rain.
Wow.
Hey, you see that store? You can
Wow.
walk in there. You see that arcade game? You can play that arcade game.
Good Lord.
These were
All right,
crazy
I don't
concepts
want
back
spoilers for this endurance run
then. I did love it
because I
like,
never saw the end of that game. So
Oh, okay. I won't spoil the ending.
Yeah.
That is something I definitely remember from back then. But
I never beat it either. I think I ran out of money on capsule toys within the first hour.
Well,
and
any
I'm like,
son
well,
gives you
I
an
don't
allowance.
want to do anything else now. So
well, everyone knows about the forklift stuff. And during one of our marathon days, I knew going in that like he was starting the forklift stuff on one of these days where he had to play like 7 hours. And if anyone's played it, there are a lot of days working that forklift. And like every day is the same of like, oh, wake up, do the forklift race, move boxes until lunch.
It's like
run
you're really
around.
there.
Oh,
It's
see,
like
I
really
love that.
living that guy's life.
It felt like real life. You have to work jobs and do menial tasks in real life.
Sure.
It
Poor
made it
Vinny.
feel real.
All right, hang on. Londi?
Yeah, that's the bad guy, Londi. He kills your dad.
And I'm looking for some sailors. That's it. That's all I got. That's the extent of my
sailors thing-
Shenmue knowledge.
I think it's weird that people bring up the sailors thing all the time. That's
Is
one
it- is it-
minor.
Is it not as big a thing
it's
as
totally not a big thing.
I mean,
it's like there's like one
that is
small segment
the
of
opening
game, but
line
yeah.
for anybody that wants to talk flippantly.
I mean,
about Shenmue.
early in the game, yeah, you have to find some sailors at some point, but then you find them at a bar, and it's like, all right, that's it.
I think everyone got to that point and said, "This game's garbage. I'm gonna stop playing."
That's the only shared experience.
Well, here's the great thing about this endurance run.
No,
is
I
that-
don't want to. I don't know.
It's
if I
not
want-
spoiler.
Okay,
It's
all
not
right, all
spoiler. It's that it's just very obvious from the beginning, from the stuff that's already on the site, that Shenmue is not the game Vinny thought it was. I think he thought it was
sounds
some like
good.
fucking Jade Empire, like
Yeah.
action
Oh,
adventure
wow.
kung fu epic
No.
where like,
Oh,
you're
man.
leveling up and like it's fucking
No,
not.
it's super not that game.
Man.
So- and just the slow realization that Vinny has as he plays more of it and sees what this game is really fun to watch.
I'm looking forward to our audience and myself all having the same knowledge about Shenmue
Yeah, okay.
and like what it actually is and where it sort of fits in video games. Because I think until now, it's certainly for me, I had always heard stories about it, but don't really know
Yeah,
what that thing is.
it's the
And now we all will,
it's
for
the
better or
thing
worse.
that they started doing and spent a ton of money doing it, and then eventually, I think a lot of them started making the Yakuza games, which are pretty widely regarded as like the refined, better version of those concepts.
that makes
Not
me
to say
think I
that
should-
those games are good either, but there you go.
I think I should probably try the Yakuza games. I was assigned to review one of them at Game
Yeah.
Informer when I first started, and I had no idea what the story was or anything. So it was like Yakuza 3 on PS3 or something.
Yeah.
And I started, I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea how to
Those
play
games
it.
are kind of daunting. I mean, Shenmue is in its own way too, but like the Yakuza games are like especially daunting if you don't really know what is going on. Like there's a fucking lot.
Some part of me wants to start from the beginning and see what that series is all about. As someone who
geez.
liked Shenmue but felt
Yeah.
a little lost jumping into 3.
There's like
6 of them.
6 of them plus some
plus
side
Zero
games
and
And like
that
the
weird zombie
zombie
game,
thing,
which
yeah.
is kind of bad from what I remember. I don't know.
But
We'll
still
see.
fun.
But 6
still,
has
like,
Virtua
fun in a
Fighter
weird way.
5 Final Tuned in it somewhere. for
See?
you to play, so,
Yeah, there you
know,
go.
it's-
Dan, I think you could totally get into it. If you go into it with the right mindset, I think you could knock it out.
Well, I'm going to bug Vinny about
You fucking
doing...
like you fight tigers and shit in that game. Like it's fucked up. Like you know that
There's some weird
on
cool
paper
shit
there
going
are
on.
things in those games that I think speak to you very
Okay.
directly.
Okay, I'm going to bug Vinny about checking out Shenmue 2 at some point, because I have not seen that game.
Yeah.
And if we go through that, I could see myself wanting to check out Yakuza.
What was the progression with 2? What that came out on the original
Xbox
and
and the
Dreamcast.
European
Wait, it also-
and
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast it only came out in the
yeah.
Oh, it never-
and Japan.
Yeah,
no kidding.
But like that version of the game, I want to say never got localized into English, but maybe the Xbox One did.
I don't know if they ever did VO.
I think
I'm
they
not
might have. I
sure.
feel like they may have done. I mean, because it came out in Europe, so they obviously did like a text translation. But
Text at least, yeah.
I don't know either. But I want to say that there are English voices for Shenmue 2 because I want to say people hacked the Dreamcast version to put those voices into
Oh.
it.
Okay.
some
Yeah,
point.
I heard a lot of stuff was actually cut out.
I'm guessing-
Yeah,
in the
I
US
forget.
version.
I forget.
I'm
but-
guessing their ambitions were a little more limited for 2.
Well, the original series was going to be a 16-part
Oh yeah,
epic.
so I was going to ask, like, how many chapters are you up to through the first one?
one.
I
but
mean,
I think
the entirety of the first game is part 1 of 16.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought their whole
But then-
thing was
but
each
then-
game would have like a handful of the chapters.
that was Shenmue 2 when they
Oh,
were
okay.
like, oh, actually,
we're gonna have to hurry this up a little bit.
yeah.
But 2 is like parts 2, 4, and 5 or something. So
That's ridiculous.
Okay, great.
So who knows
All right.
what 3 is going to be. But yeah, I want to see this all through.
Yeah, I guess you guys will be primed for some Shenmue 3 coverage
3
Yes.
and 6 through 16.
if and when that game ever
Right.
comes out.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye on the site for that over the coming month or so.
Yes.
There's some fun stuff in there for sure.
Excellent. Good stuff. Jeff,
Hello.
hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
Oh, not much.
Cool.
Yeah, just I'm very. My throat is unfucking happy.
Yeah.
Coming off of PAX.
Yeah.
and a lot of yelling, a lot of
Mhm.
loud talking.
Uh-huh.
It's very uncool over here.
Yes.
Extremely uncool.
Yeah. What is cool?
Oh, I don't know.
What's good?
What's cool is being home.
Yeah.
And relaxing a little bit. No, I played some Mother Russia Bleeds.
Oh, yeah, that's out this week.
Which is out now.
Now,
I saw
actually,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Saw it coming
Talk
out.
to me about
yeah,
this.
I have
I'm
no
really
idea.
interested.
No idea what it is. So
It's a beat 'em up. It's
a
a
dish.
It's them. Someone sat down and said, "Let's make a game like Streets of Rage or Final
Oh.
Fight, but it'll be super violent and with a slightly more indie aesthetic to it.
Okay.
It's art.
2D.
yeah.
2D art.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said indie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Right.
course.
Yeah. So it is a hyper violent, drug fueled brawler.
Okay.
You know, so you are. What is it? I played the first chapter and a half, something like that. So you're taking place in some underground. It's like alternate history Russia 1986,
Oh, cool.
and you are part of some underground fight league where you're just fighting a bunch of bums and hobos and stuff, and they can grab you. They're real dicks. And then shock troopers come in and take the guy that runs the camp of fight league stuff, and then they knock you out, and you wake up in some kind of facility where they've been experimenting on you with crazy drugs. So you're basically, so you spend the game, you've got punch, kick, grab, jump.
Very, very
you know.
similar to like Final Fight or Streets of Rage. Like the control scheme and everything seems
Yeah, it's I mean,
very, very
it has
similar.
a dedicated grab button, so it's
Okay.
not like walk up,
Walk up.
auto grab type
Gotcha.
stuff. Like they've expanded on it because you've got a dash now that's on a button.
Okay.
If you hit as part of a combo with the character I'm playing, which seems to be kind of like the main character, and by that I mean the default character. It's like, punch, up and kick is a launcher, and
Kick
then
ass.
you
Okay,
can
good.
jump up and hit the throw button, catch them on the way down, and fling them down.
That's exactly what I need.
So
out of
it's
it.
like there's
Awesome.
a little bit more of combo stuff going on, and so that makes it more interesting. Otherwise, it would just, it's
That's
a
what I was
fucking
worried
brawler.
about.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
super,
I was watching people play it, and it looked like a lot of the same animations
Yeah,
and stuff. And I'm like,
absolutely. It's a
this
little-
looks like it was leaning a little too much.
It's a
But
brawler, it's a little flat.
Sure.
But the combo system I think opens it up a bit.
Is it obnoxious with the 80s stuff, like a Trials of the Blood Dragon type of thing?
No.
It's
It
not?
is just
Okay.
this gritty, fucked up. Like as you're punching guys, they're bleeding. You're tearing their shirts.
Okay.
And so there's also this drug mechanic.
Like Narc,
Yeah.
the remake?
Yeah, where you can do drugs, and in fact, you have to
Soviet
because-
drugs?
Yeah, because you're hooked on them
Oh.
now. So
Crocodile?
over time, you're shooting crocodile. I mean, it might as well be. I don't know. So you will eventually go through withdrawals and throw up and kind of like stop moving for a second if you don't use it. There are 2 drug buttons, and also okay. So you have this. You find a syringe very early in the game, and you can use it to heal yourself with 1 button, and he just shoots into his neck like it's fucking RoboCop 2. Or you can use it, and it's the same meter, so I don't know how he's using the same drug 2 ways. Maybe it's just different part of the body, and that sends you into some kind of psycho rage where you're just like blowing people up with 1 punch for a few seconds. And the syringe has 3 stocks on it, so you kind of, you use it, you refill it, all that other stuff. You refill it, so as you knock somebody down, if they're on the ground twitching, you can walk up to him, hit the left bumper, and he just takes his syringe out, sticks it into them, and starts stealing the drug out of them.
That's awesome. Just siphoning out of a dude.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So you're just like sucking up juice out of them that you're then shooting into yourself. I don't think he's properly cleaning that. Like what I'm saying is alternate history, 1986 Russia needs a needle exchange program in a bad way.
What is alternate about it? Is it like the Soviet Union is not falling?
I mean, no, I think it's alternate in that there are fucking crazy psycho drugs.
Yes, okay. I thought that was just
that's part of their statement on it was that it was alternate. So it's not ripped from the headlines, I guess. But so you wake up in this lab and this has been done to you, and then you break out of the lab and end up in a prison.
It's a good place to punch people.
Yeah, and now I'm in the middle of escaping from the prison.
Is there any other layer of mechanics on it? Like I was thinking, like for instance, Charlie Murder had loot in it, which I thought was a cool little like RPG twist on a Final Fight style game. Is there anything like that at all?
It doesn't have that.
Just a bro. So does that hold up?
I mean, I played it for 45 minutes or something like that. By the end of it, I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, okay.
But it has co-op. You can get in there. I think it's all offline. You can also add AI.
And it's more than 2 players, right? I think it was like
got
3
4
to 4
selectable characters. I think you can do all 4.
Neat.
If you want. Yeah.
Good.
It seems very well made, but I don't know that they solved like what I kind of view as the ultimate problem with that genre in 2016 is that, like it's just it's pretty repetitive.
Yeah, I get that.
And maybe it's changed up. They've got an arena mode in there, so you can just go in there, but that's just to see how long you can survive while murdering all these people. So
I'm okay with it being repetitive if the gameplay loop is good. If it feels good, I have a fondness for old school brawlers like that.
I think that they nail that in a hey, we've taken this kind of very classic brawler template and added some additional moves and stuff like that to give it a little more depth. Like it still has that kind of classic feel, I guess.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So it's neat if nothing else. And I played Nero Voider.
I saw
Steam
that
as well.
Yeah, I saw that came out. I didn't look too far into it.
It's a dual joystick shooter roguelike.
Okay. Okay.
With with a old video game aesthetic to it, like
how old are we talking?
Like everything else, maybe like a 16-ish bit.
Okay.
Let's just call it 8-bit because that's what everyone just calls it. Yeah, it's a pixel art. You're a robot. Or actually, technically, when you start the game, you're just a hopping brain, and you hop into some robot bodies.
A brain in search of a robot.
Yeah, so there are different classes, like a melee class. There's a class that deals more in heavy weapons at the start, but moves a little slower than a mid range that's like, hey, it's just kind of shooting guns, but still moves at a decent speed. Yeah, so the interesting thing there is, as you're blowing up all these other robots, you're picking up all this loot, so you can actually kind of retrofit your robot between levels with whatever you want. You can change class if you find like enough gear that makes it so like, this is all high level, but it's not for my class. So if I switch it all out, then I can be this other class and be stronger. A lot of different guns, flamethrowers and grenade launchers and bio goo and all sorts of stuff like that.
Are you picking that stuff up?
You are. You're so it's little templates or blueprints or whatever that fall out of enemies when you kill them.
And then you're crafting stuff?
You can, but you're also picking up just straight up items. And then there's like a forge where you can just spend currency to get a random item out of it. And it's got a really great soundtrack, I'll say, but the action itself was maybe not the best. It was all right. But yeah, I don't know. I played a couple of runs of that. And I was like, this is pretty neat. We should do something with this. But I don't know if I'm super psyched to play hours and hours of it or anything like that.
No end of indie games coming out on Steam.
Oh yeah,
these days.
Yeah.
make a full-time
There's
job
like
out of
30,
keeping
30
up with,
more coming out right now while we're in here recording. 30 more will be released onto Steam between the price range of 79 cents and $30.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
A few of them will be stealth mobile ports.
Right.
There will be a bunch of currency packs for free-to-play games mixed in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Visual graphic
It's
novel
fucking-
DLC.
And
then
that Steam store.
did you fucking see? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you pulled it for news. Did you fucking see they released a paid expansion pack
Yes.
for Ark?
I put it in news, and we also got a bunch of emails about it.
What the fucking fuck?
Or we
man?
could just talk about it right now.
So this game is still in early access, and it seems like
Oh,
they
it
have,
still is?
Yeah,
I think it's
they
what is
haven't
it,
necessarily.
30?
Yeah,
I think it's 30.
That sounds right.
I should double check, but I think it's 30 to get the game.
It's Ark. What is it? The full name? Ark Survival
Evolved.
Or, yeah.
So they've had this game in early access for a while. It sounds like that they've been, reading some of the angriest users. It sounds like they have not been hitting their marks in terms of stuff that they said they would be adding to the game.
Yeah.
Isn't
Okay.
it
last
huge
year or
regardless,
so?
though?
30 regular. It's actually 18 on sale at the moment.
Okay.
Huge.
Like, isn't it really, really popular?
fucking
Like,
huge.
yeah,
They had
Yeah.
a gigantic PAX booth.
It's,
that's what I was going to say. As I was walking
they
around
had that
PAX,
like life-size T-Rex.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that you can
smaller
ride.
yeah.
It was
Well,
totally
for
one
a
of those
picture.
moments where I was walking around the show floor and I was like, what the fuck game is that from Horizon Zero Dawn or what is
Well,
this?
if they're gonna pay
And
for
then-
a big sweet dinosaur, I guess I could see why they would then release like a $20 paid add-on
Yes.
for an early
So yeah,
access game.
it's a $30 early access game that now has a $20 add-on.
Well, it was totally the same feeling I got when I would walk around E3 and see like a giant World of War Tanks booth.
Yeah.
Be like, is that game that big to get
It's
this
huge.
big of a
yes,
booth?
yes.
It's
World
constantly-
of Tanks is fucking insane.
Yeah, well, I
World,
get
World
that
of
now,
Tanks is
but, like-
insanely big, but also Ark is consistently one of the top sellers on Steam.
Yeah, so and I don't know, some of the complaints out of that are now that like the new DLC gives you access to a fire-breathing dragon that makes you way more powerful than people who don't own that DLC, which if that's actually accurate is fucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, I looked into that a little bit over the weekend as I was kind of poking around Steam, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
they broke their game.
Even if, and it sounds like they're not, but even if they are like obeying the letter of the law in terms of delivering everything they said they would for that early access version, even then, there's no way this looks good.
The idea that they are not finished with the main game and have like what some people view as like glaring holes in the game that still need to be fixed, that they would then, without having finished the game, try to sell you another piece of it, is just rotten.
It's crazy.
That's just fucked. Man, what?
All that said, as of right now, Ark Scorched Earth is the top seller on Steam.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh,
Assuming,
was that the actual name of it? It's not
Assuming-
Survival Evolved?
well,
No,
yeah.
that's the core game is
Yeah.
Survival Evolved.
Scorched
Like
Earth is the expansion.
is-
That's the expansion.
Scorched Earth is the expansion pack.
Well, there you go.
Assuming that top seller list is comprehensive, then yes, it is currently at the number one spot.
Okay.
So,
All right. Welcome to video games.
yeah. Good times.
Praxis points for sale.
Yep. Drew, what's been on your plate?
My plate is full of funk. I played Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh.
Yeah?
Wait.
Yeah.
The first. Did you go hunt down that stuff at PAX?
Yeah.
What did you see?
I saw the Toe Jam and Earl remake.
Is
game.
it like they had it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was up 6th floor.
I believe
Adult
they're-
Swim is publishing.
Adult
Okay.
Swim.
Oh, wow, okay.
booth,
I believe
the
they're-
secret best place of PAX because
seriously,
no one
like-
can get up there.
Yeah, not only that, but like the lineup of games was super solid.
I heard
there.
it was really good.
Man,
Yeah. Then he played some game where it's a cross between Odin Sphere and a match 3 game where you're cooking for an Iron Chef type
yeah,
TV
Battle
show.
Chef Brigade.
Battle Chef Brigade.
Too many different things in one.
Yeah,
That's-
oh, it looks awesome. I didn't play that, but I did play Toe Jam and Earl, and I love Toe Jam and Earl,
Uh-huh.
the original game.
yes.
I even played Toe Jam and Earl 3.
Man.
Yeah,
That's, I mean, I did too,
Not,
but not
that old, right?
it's an
Xbox 3.
game.
That was original
yeah.
Xbox.
Okay.
early
that's-
2000s.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty old.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first one is always in my
That's-
heart.
That's the one.
Yeah,
I will play that game once a year. Or
Yeah.
so. I'll probably return to Toe Jam and Earl
yeah. I have
once, twice a year.
my Sega Genesis up at my parents' cabin in Lake Tahoe, and whenever we go up there, I make sure to play at least one go of Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah.
And I don't usually like freak out about meeting game industry people. But I got a demo for the new Toe Jam and Earl from Greg Johnson, the co-creator of Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh,
so
right,
I was
yeah.
pretty excited about that.
That's awesome.
But like, so they kickstarted this game, I think.
They did.
And they released a trailer ahead of PAX.
Yes.
And throughout that whole process, I was a little wary. I mean, because it is, I love it so much. I want it to be really, really perfect.
Yeah, that
It's one of
Kickstarter,
those
that
sort
Kickstarter
of
trailer
things.
had like actual rapping in it, and I had this like real crisis of like,
no.
I don't know that I
Oh,
don't
no.
know that Toe Jam and Earl should speak
I don't think they should at
other
all.
than to say yeah, like
Money.
Yeah, exactly. Done.
Right.
That's it.
How were the rhymes?
They
Should we
They
just
were
move,
not- they
it
would
was the
move
same,
on?
It was the same deal for the pre-PAX trailer as well.
Yeah. Okay.
There was straight up talking and rapping in that too.
Yeah.
And,
It's
yeah.
just-
That's the most hard part to go back to. Toe Jam and 03. Like, there's a lot of talking and
Oh,
stuff. And
I mean,
it is
like that. I mean, the same thing broke me during that game too. It was
Yeah.
just like, oh, what the fuck? Like, this is totally like you thought Toe Jam and Earl 2 was bad.
right.
Here we are. Yeah, that's Yeah.
So I was excited to finally see what it actually was,
Mhm.
and they start you on it is isometric perspective. The terrain is polygonal,
okay.
but the characters are two-dimensional.
Okay, yeah. I watched a little bit of the trailer, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. It's, okay,
And the first level looks exactly like the first level in Toe Jam and Earl.
right.
And if you've never played it, it is a.
Does that mean you can go down to level 0 and hang out in the hot tub? Like, is it that exact?
We didn't try that.
Okay, all right.
But it is a. I guess you could call it a roguelike.
Yeah, I mean that's what that game was.
You wander around and the level generates, and you are looking for pieces to your crashed spaceship.
Okay, I'm in.
And avoiding Earthlings.
Got it. Okay.
Along the way.
Yeah.
That is the old game and the new game.
Great.
So it's pretty much a spiritual successor to the first game.
That's kind of what 3 was supposed to be, though, too.
Yeah,
They
that
just
was
didn't have
like
the
full
perspective
3D.
and, yeah, it was.
And that came with its own problems.
Yeah.
So this game it's trying to be like the original one, but it has layered a few more systems on top of it. There are more things to interact with around the world. You can like shake trees and like houses to get stuff out of them. There are other
Alright.
people to talk to.
Is there a man in a carrot suit that will identify my items?
I don't know if I saw him.
Okay.
They retained the loot thing where you pick up a present and it says question marks on it, so you don't
Yeah.
know what it does. But then as soon as you use it, then if you pick that present up again, you do know what it does.
Yeah.
I think there are certain presents that you pick up, or you can imbue them with a certain magic that makes them more powerful. So you'll get like you'll pick up some high tops, but then they might have a chance to be awesome high tops somehow.
Yeah.
And there are like mini games where you meet, like I met this person and then I had to do a timing, like they would like a Simon Says sort of thing with music, which is kind of great because in the original game, a thing I would always do would be to go to the sound test,
Right,
where
yeah.
you could play all the samples, like
Yeah.
the clap and the
It was like a
the
good
snare.
little 3-button drum machine. Like, it was, It
Exactly.
was like surprisingly.
And you
it was
could
fun.
recreate the music that is in the elevator between levels,
Right, yep.
with that thing. So I would
Yep.
go in there and try to
Totally.
really nail it.
Yep, me too.
So the fact that they've put something like that into this game
Okay.
was just sort of this cool little serendipitous
That's cool.
thing
That's
that-
cool.
that I enjoyed.
I wish games had more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that menu trick, and I hate saying it this way, but Elo Milo.
Oh,
Remember
right.
Oh,
that?
yeah.
You could play.
Yeah.
You could play the game's theme music
There's an
by
achievement for that.
by moving
Yeah.
the menu.
Killer
in
Instinct
time.
does that as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that stuff. There's also like a mini game where I forget why you're doing it. Maybe it's between certain levels, but it reminds me of sort of like in Sonic, or I guess in Sonic 1 and 2, the Chaos Emerald stages. This was more like you're running from left to right and along this undulating terrain, and you're jumping over stuff. It's like a reaction sort of thing. And if
Okay.
you do well there, then you get more items or something.
I think I saw that in the trailer and thought like, oh man, they accidentally slipped some Toe Jam and Earl 2 into this game. What a bummer.
Yeah,
But-
no, that's
okay.
like a mini game,
All right.
and you just get bonuses from it. I think
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff going on, and we were trying to move it real fast because I cut the line because
Oh.
I'm media and horrible.
Of course. Yeah.
How dare you?
I know.
It happens.
Yeah, and now I get to talk about it.
Yeah.
For more people. But I think it felt like the first one.
Cool.
Unknown if those systems will gel nicely together. And I think it seems like if the original Toe Jam and Earl was a rogue like as in it was like Rogue,
Yeah.
this game seems to be drawing from the current slate of games that
right.
call themselves
so
roguelikes.
It's more of a roguelite, which is the term that I think has come into fashion in the years following original Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah, I think the main structure of the game is the same though.
Yeah.
Just with a little more things layered on top. So I'm really curious to see how that one turns out.
Cool. That's out next year? Early next year? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. Adult Swim's got a real good slate. They've really. It seems like that they were originally like they were into the games, and you were like, oh, this is kind of a weird joke because Adult Swim is into that weird joke of doing a thing, but then the joke got real, and now they're like, oh, they've got a bunch of fucking very serious fucking games.
They've totally turned into one of the coolest. Yeah, like them and Devolver, I feel like are the two. Not to say there aren't plenty of other publishers doing cool indie stuff, but those two in particular have got a real eye for
that. Mother Russia Bleeds is a Devolver game.
Okay,
and it shows. You look at it, it's like that seems like that's increasingly their aesthetic of just like fucking murder junkies,
edgy murder,
edgy 8-bit murder junkies.
Yeah,
wasn't Westerado Adult Swim?
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think that was one of the first like big ones that people started like turning their
gaze
towards.
For me,
Jazz
Punk. It was Jazz Punk at PAX. The year that we saw Jazz Punk. That was the year that it finally got hammered into my head. Like
also on the 6th floor.
Yeah. They've had that thing going, but that was when it finally like really dawned on me. Okay, they are not just here to promote Adult Swim cartoons.
Yeah,
they are putting out original games, and they're really cool.
Yeah,
they just put out Headlander also.
I'll even say like some of the mobile games coming out of like the Cartoon Network camp, like the Adventure Time stuff. I'm not even a fan of the show, but like I've been playing the Card Battle one, I've been playing the Puzzle Quest one, and then Teeny Titans just came out as well. These are all like really cool games. I'm liking their stuff.
Yeah,
people seem to have good things to say about the Rick and Morty VR experience.
Yes,
there was a long line for that. Tough to tell across the board whether long lines for VR are because the game is good or people just want to see VR.
I heard anecdotally that some people were like, man, last year I couldn't even get in to see any VR thing, and now I'm like lining up the NVIDIA booth for 8 minutes or something like that and playing Star Trek, or some of those lines were way shorter.
Oh, was that game there?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Star Trek stuff was
the
there.
bridge simulator.
I spoke with one of the designers on that for a little bit about that thing.
Okay, we got to get that in here.
It sounds really good.
We got to.
And it's just a bridge simulator,
it looks
right?
It's a 4-player online VR.
I didn't
they're not going to make you have 4 VR headsets in the same location. They're not lunatics.
Right.
So
what if we did?
But what if we did? I mean, then we would need 4 fucking VR ready PCs in the same spot, which
I bet Ubisoft has PCs.
They're up the street. We'll go steal them from them.
We could figure something out.
Yeah, we should just see if we can go up the street and play it.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was like a multiplayer experience.
Oh yeah,
that's the whole thing.
It's like you are tactical. You are at Shield.
The whole thing is it's like full on multiplayer bridge crew.
Is it Space Team but with Star Trek?
Yes,
it seems like it's a little bit of that. Yeah, and so it sounds like they've got like scripted story stuff, but also like some kind of procedurally generated stuff.
I think it's like less madcap random teamwork and more like live out your fantasy of being in Star Trek.
Like here's this scenario from the show or whatever, and have at it.
That stuff sounds cool.
Yeah.
I want to emit a narrowband tachyon beam and then divert all power to forward shields.
Speaking
that
of,
would be really fun.
Nostalgia. I also played Luminous for the
iOS.
I
was just about to ask.
How is that? I almost bought it. And
I almost did too.
I had
this
my
morning.
realization of just like I never have the sound on my phone. Yeah. I never have headphones. Like,
and also I'd seen some people saying it was, but
I liked it.
Proceed.
I mean, I went and read the reviews on the iTunes store page first, and people were real upset about the controls. I didn't play a whole lot of the first Luminous. I think I only played it on the Xbox 360.
Okay. Decent version of the game.
That was a like portish remake thing of the first one.
Yeah,
right?
it had some of the skins. Okay. Yeah, and this one even has some of the same songs. As original. Proper PSP
it'll start you with like 2 options, either normal or classic. Okay. I think you can go in there and use the same skins, but again, it's not horizontal. You hold your phone vertically.
Yeah.
So the playfield is much smaller.
Yeah. But it's a deeper well.
Yes.
I think, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Huh.
And the controls are swiping left and right to determine where to drop your piece, swipe down to drop it, and tap to rotate. And it's a little fiddly. Like you want to it does a nice thing where the piece is, I don't know if the piece itself is is analog. I think the piece might be analog, but then it will click to show you where it's going to drop.
Yeah.
And that feels pretty good, and you can tell where it's going to drop before you do. But like, you have to learn to pause for like 0.2 seconds before you actually
just
drop
make sure
it.
you got it lined up.
Yeah, otherwise, if you're just like going fast and loose, you're going to drop it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
My worry with that is like most of my memory of the PSP Luminous, which I played the hell out of, is like super fast, precise, like trying to like drop this stuff before the line comes and clears it.
There's
and
so
like
much timing involved.
yeah, I feel like if there's even a single hiccup when I'm doing something with my thumb, then that's like, well, fuck this, you know?
Yeah. I think it is slower than that game.
Okay, like the line, the
It would make
clearing thing?
sense because if the overall play field is narrower and it's going to keep time with the music, it still has to. It probably does have to move way slower.
Yeah, like I don't even know if I'm sold on the vertical orientation because that line was such a huge. And also, it was just nice to play a puzzle game in widescreen for once because like every puzzle game uses that Tetris play field.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I'm totally not opposed to that concept. It's for me, it was more just like, okay, music is a huge part of this thing, and I'm rarely in a position where I'm holding my phone and also have the speakers on.
I put the speaker on. I was playing it in like a hotel lobby, and like there's enough noise around that I didn't mind like having it on. But I did play it with headphones, and it sounds cool.
Yeah. Seems like it's got at least a couple of the songs. Like looking at the list, I was like, okay, all right, that's one that makes me want to buy this game. That's one that makes me want to buy this game. But
and I went through 2 rounds of, like easy mode, just like the normal one they set you with, and the classic mode. And I definitely found myself getting into a rhythm and becoming much faster with the dropping.
Cool.
And still staying relatively accurate. So I think if you go into it expecting that PSP level of control immediately, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
But you may become faster at it, and I don't know. I think it feels well made. It looks nice, and is a fun little puzzle game.
Cool. Did they ever do a Luminous for Vita?
Yeah, it launched
like an original Luminous
at some
on
point,
Vita.
someone woke up and said, "What the fuck are we doing?" And they put out.
How did we
Luminous.
launch this thing without a Luminous? Was that any good?
Yeah, it was.
should
It had
go
a
track that
world
down.
block thing concept, not unlike Nobi Boy, where
wow.
everyone was contributing to some larger thing.
Did they ever have in the original one special blocks? So like in your block of 4 when it drops, there would be like
in the middle of one of them or a cross or something.
Yeah.
That would kind of.
The cross.
You would line it up, and so it's like a 2-color game. So it'd be like if
Right.
it was like, let's say, a silver block that had the dot in it, and you dropped it next to other silver blocks, it would connect them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was kind of like in
okay.
like Puzzle Fighter. If you get like you put a bunch together and they all kind of chain.
You guys are making me really want to go play Luminous.
There's another one. I
Great
think that when you drop it, it scrambles everything.
Oh, okay. That would be new, or at least, I mean,
You wouldn't want that,
Maybe
would
that
you?
was in some other. There are situations where you fucked up, and
I guess,
you
yeah.
might want that.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, it seems solid.
Okay. Maybe.
It's
I'm
like $3.
No,
Like,
I know.
That was
It's
the
not-
other
it
thing
is
for me. Is like
$3.
I was looking at it thinking like I will eventually cave and buy this, but
Yeah.
I bet I won't play it much.
and I'm saying that from a person who is not super deep into the original Luminous.
Right.
So your mileage may vary depending on your level of affinity for Luminous.
Love the first Luminous.
I would much
So
rather see
good.
Meteos on iOS.
Yes.
game's
That
great too.
Yeah, but that was already touch based, right?
yeah,
Like that would
exactly,
work.
yeah.
Like that, and Meteos is awesome.
Meteos is awesome.
Is that
They should make another
Nintendo though?
Meteos.
Does Nintendo have
No, that was Q.
It was
made
Q.
that.
Q made it, but Nintendo published it here, I think.
Okay.
They may not
On
have
the
published
original
it in
DS?
Japan. Yeah.
I don't know that I
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
played that.
It's
Yeah,
good.
It's a really good
it's
puzzle
really
game.
cool.
You're swiping with the touchscreen to line up like colored blocks, and when you get enough of them in a row, they become rockets and start boosting the blocks above them off the screen.
Huh.
So you want to try to launch the blocks off the screen to get points.
Wow.
And then as they're launched, you can kind of keep making combos to make your launch even bigger. So there's more thrust, and different planets have different gravity, and it's a game that you can play in a really sloppy way by just fucking doing shit, just slobbing around on the screen until you make rockets. But it's still really fun. I love that game.
It's good stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, we need to take a quick break. Jason, don't worry, I didn't forget about you.
Okay.
Come back
yeah.
and talk about God Eater or something here in
Oh,
seconds.
Jesus Christ.
Or maybe something else. If you got anything else going on, anything at all? But for
we're
now,
just going to talk about Attack on Titan for another
oh right,
20 minutes.
Yes.
We'll talk after the break.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be right back.
It's high time we all started doing our part to build a more beautiful web.
Like a spider web, like
No, like
glistening with dew in the morning breeze, that kind of web.
If that's what you find to be beautiful, then why not make a site on the World Wide Web about your glistening dew spider webs?
Spiderwebs.web. Is there a .web yet?
I probably. I don't actually know.
It'd be rife with Spider-Man fan sites.
Yes.
Probably. That's what that domain would be for.
Another website that you could start easily and quickly with the power of Squarespace.
Ooh.
That's right, Squarespace is easy. A simple, intuitive process that lets you add and arrange your content when features with the click of a mouse. You've got a mouse, right?
I think so.
Okay. You're probably set. If you sign up for a year, you get a free custom domain. So maybe that would let you get into your spiderwebs.web.com.
Spider.web.internet.com.
Yeah. Hotwebs.biz. All these sorts of things.
Hang on, I'm not selling my webs.
Okay.
That's art.
Sorry. No, okay. This is not a business. Okay.
Art yearns to be free.
All right.
In whatever form it takes.
Well, it may take a form of one of the beautiful templates that are available with Squarespace's award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more. No plugins involved.
Oh.
No.
It's all there.
It's all there.
Yeah, just
Just
works.
design your best-in-class online store, or hey, it doesn't even have to be a store.
Yeah.
Keep it non-commercial.
For the people.
Build the beauty.
Yeah.
But again, I should say there are seamless commerce tools. If you decide one day that you're like, you know what?
If I turn mercenary all of a sudden,
we'll start selling these webs.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of savvy shop owners around the world are using Squarespace's commerce tools.
That's a lot of spiders.
Yeah. It'll send custom emails, process orders, track inventory, all that sort of stuff. And if you run into a spot and you need some help, they've got 24/7 customer support.
Ooh.
So start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code BOMBCAST to get 10% off your first purchase.
Got it.
Got it.
All right, Jason.
Yo.
Did you play anything that was not God Eater in your hotel room?
God damn it. Like,
No God Eater.
why we gotta hate on the God
I
Eater?
don't have a problem with God Eater.
Why we gotta hate
And
on the
I
games?
absolutely respect your hustle for dragging what was it, a PlayStation TV?
Yeah, I brought my
PAX.
PlayStation TV, or is that what it's called now? PlayStation TV, not Vita TV?
Yeah, it was Vita TV in Japan.
There we
and
go.
PlayStation TV.
So it seems like whenever I said PlayStation TV, people would be like, "What? What are you
Yeah,
talking about?"
that's probably yeah.
Especially when PlayStation made those PlayStation TVs.
It caused
Right,
some
yeah.
confusion.
I can see that being a common reaction to that product.
So yeah, I usually bring a console with me to these types of conventions because I spend some time in the hotel room. But yeah, I just brought the PlayStation TV, and it was nice because I am playing a lot of God's Eater 2 Rage Burst, and yeah, they've got cross save and stuff. So yeah, it worked out nicely.
All right.
Yeah, I'm playing it on the console versions now as opposed to on Steam. I put like 20 hours or so on Steam version, and I'm about at the same place that I was then at about, I don't know, 15 hours clocked in. So
Have you crafted any bone armor?
no, have not. No bone armor. Everything's all like cool and sci-fi, very fashion forward. So sometimes there's hoodies and like skin tight shirts and maybe painted on abs or something like that.
Have you crafted any painted on abs?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Like several.
Nice.
Several.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Off-white coloring armor.
+2 to New Jerseyness. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of that. No, I'm continuously bummed by how, I don't know.
It looks like a PS2 game.
I mean, bear in mind that this was actually kind of up-res from like a PSP game, so a lot of the environments are kind of flat and stuff. It's not the best looking game, for sure. But yeah, I'm still really bummed that they're calling this a sequel, because a lot of the assets, the maps, the menu screen, and everything, very much the same as in the first God Eater. So. That said, I'm still really enjoying the game. I love the blood arts system. I think that's really cool. Like the progression of unlocking that stuff has been great.
And those are additions to your combat system.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot like the super attacks and like Monster Hunter Generations. That you guys are big fans of that. Yeah,
Dude, look at me. I am Monster Hunter.
It's true.
you are Monster.
We say that all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I super dig that game an awful lot, and I wish more people would play it. But
Do you think that do you think that they'll ever make a proper
Yeah, that's-
console first sequel to this?
When I first saw there was a 2 coming out, I was like, finally, a Monster Hunter style game for console. Maybe I'll check that out. And then it's like, oh,
I mean,
it was-
blame Japan for not adopting consoles.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the PS4 is not burning up
Yeah.
the the charts over there, and there are like 9 Xbox Ones in Japan. So
yeah, the 3DS Monster Hunters are still just burning up the charts.
That's just they're just playing to the install base.
Oh yeah, no, I get it, but just not into it.
Totally.
I get you.
Did you anything from PAX you saw you want to talk about?
I mean, there's a few things that I mostly made like bombing runs throughout all the booths and stuff. There's lots of stuff that caught my eye. The first thing that I saw was that new Battle Chasers game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the comic from Joe Mad. He's the guy that did the designs for Darksiders. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And what is it? THQ Nordic? Is that what they're
yes.
called now?
Yeah.
So
I took a picture of their big banner because they straight up have gone back to the last THQ logo.
Right.
Did you see that?
And they've written
that was
Nordic
the most
in that
surreal
THQ
thing
font.
that they would like.
It's weird, like seeing people say, "Oh, THQ's back."
Right.
Well, not really, but
well, their properties are back, but it's so crazy that they wouldn't do some kind of new logo treatment. They would just go get.
I mean, if their whole point is to evoke old,
I
like
guess,
a worldwide brand,
Yeah.
then you at least launch with that.
Sure.
Pivot in 6 months or something to some new logo.
Is
or
it
whatever,
the like
but-
italics one, or is it the one?
no, it's the one
like
after that.
the
It's
new like Q thing they did. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is kind of those old guys. So it's a bunch of Vigil dudes, I guess, working on this.
Oh wow. Okay.
So this Battle Chasers game is like a turn-based RPG, which is very different from the Darksiders stuff. But yeah, it's got the same artwork, same kind of character design. So it looks, just like Joe Mad's comic. He's working on it. And yeah, it's kind of cool because Battle Chasers kind of ended on like a cliffhanger of sorts. And they're gonna start doing the comic again, which is really neat. But yeah, it was weird, like seeing like the Darksider's sword being held by this guy. I'm like, wait a second, that looks awfully familiar. Yeah, it took me a little while to piece together, but yeah, it looks like fucking fantastic. But then again, it looks like kind of a baseline JRPG, one side against the other. But
they had the port of Darksiders to new consoles at that booth. I looked at that briefly. I mean,
that's actually where I put it together. Is
Okay.
like I turned the corner. I'm like,
oh yeah, that's where that came from.
Oh, that's that fucking sword. I get it now.
Isn't that the Deathfinitive?
I think that was 2.
Okay, so
Wasn't
they're
that-
bringing the
wasn't
first
that-
one
see,
over.
So the first
this
one
is
is
the
now
first
coming.
one.
Okay.
It looks like you'd expect. It's a sharper, smoother version of that game, but that game was
game.
awesome.
Yeah.
I never finished it. It makes me really want to go back to it.
It's that game. I bet if they do a good graphical pass on that game, it'll still be definitely worth playing.
It looked totally fine. Like it, but
definitely worth playing.
I mean, it still looked like a 360 game.
Yeah,
but
all right.
but sharper.
Sure.
But
But
they're
I don't
touching
know,
it up
that
some.
game out-Zeldaed Zelda in a lot of ways.
I played through like
and
half of it.
Oh,
It was
totally.
really fucking neat.
Super impressed with it.
And I like the second one too.
I
It was a
kinda
very
like the
different
second
thing.
one, too.
Very
Yeah,
different
it
thing,
was.
but still cool.
Yeah,
I
it
hit
was
some
it was a pretty
glitch
good game.
in the second one. I love the first one, beat it, and I hit some glitch like 10 hours in. I think they fixed it with the patch, but then it's like, I'm not going to do 10 hours of work again to fix a corrupt save file.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable.
yeah.
Do you guys see that Heavy Metal Machines booth? It was this big, loud fucking. We're gonna play some fucking heavy metal in cars. And
Is it the Metallica car combat game?
I would, yeah.
I've been wanting that for like 15 years.
That could be super rad.
Pulled it out of mothballs.
Yeah.
Dusted
But
it off.
this seems this is like a free to play game. I don't think it's out yet. I think they're gonna do open beta pretty soon. But Rock and Roll Racing. You guys remember that?
I do.
You remember it fondly?
Yes.
This seems to be right up that alley.
Okay.
Like
There was the one game that
car
came out that,
vehicular
like,
combat. It's like the same kind of top-down perspective.
Is it like RC Pro-Am style racing, or is it more kind of about the combat than the racing?
It seems like a pretty good mix of both. Yeah,
Okay.
there's lots of instances where you'll need to like kind of turn around and fire weapons and
okay.
stuff. So
Like arena style or within a race?
within a race, so
Okay.
like on a track or something like that. I don't know how many racers are involved in it, but yeah, it's got a good look to it. It seems like they're kind of trying real hard with the heavy metal, but it's not
Lights and stuff?
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
Couldn't tell. Yeah, loud booth. But yeah. I'm excited for that. I love rock and roll racing.
Did you ever
An
play
awful lot.
that bootleg ass Rock and Roll Racing that came to Steam?
I did.
And like just
Oh, yeah.
had
And they-
sounds ripped from the game
Yeah.
that then mysteriously disappeared, and then the whole thing got pulled from Steam. Like,
I wonder if is it still available? Because I bought it.
if
like,
you bought it,
immediately.
you should still have it.
Okay.
But
Well,
I
good.
believe it is no longer available for
Yeah,
sale.
that was some hot like
Road something.
Yeah. Wasn't
Right?
it made in Russia or something
Probably
like that?
I think so. Yeah.
That totally sounds right.
yeah.
but- Yeah, that totally stood out to me. And then of course everything up in the Adult Swim booth. That was just cool walking through there. It's like, oh wow, that game looks great. Death's Gambit, Katana Zero. There's Desync, the Battle Chef Brigade.
Oh right, yeah, Desync, yeah.
Desync looks super super cool, and I can't wait for like a lot of that stuff isn't even out yet, so
I didn't realize
anxiously
Desync was
awaiting.
them. Yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, I can't wait for them.
I heard that Tokyo 42 was somewhere on the show floor. Did
Was
anyone
it?
actually see it?
They
Did
put
not
it,
see
no,
it.
they put out an announcement. Let me pull it up.
Okay,
real
maybe
fast.
it was just they had the announcement
they have-
saying that it was
they-
coming to console.
Yeah, they put out a press release. I mean, it's
Okay.
yes, it's Steam, Xbox One, and PS4.
of course. Yeah.
It's
All right.
not the most surprising.
That thing looks fucking
It
cool.
What is
does
that?
look
It's
awesome.
like an isometric
GTA,
GTA.
but with like really,
Uh,
it's like set in future Tokyo and it's super stylized.
It's good look.
Yeah, this weird kind of there are a couple of trailers out there for it that I highly
Yeah.
recommend people go watch.
I think they put out a new one.
It's really neat looking.
On foot and in vehicle.
It's
I don't know
I
if
don't
there's any
know if there's
vehicle
vehicle.
stuff.
It almost looks like original Syndicate.
Oh,
At
Yeah.
times.
Oh, cool.
It's got this
But then
crazy.
it's got like a multiplayer mode and some other stuff too.
It's got this crazy, like super zoomed out isometrical look to it.
Ooh.
Like it's like all the people are super tiny.
yeah. That looks
Wow.
good.
And yeah, the action just in the trailers that they've shown looks pretty awesome.
It looks like Baidu Maps, which I think we've discussed before.
I have no idea
Yeah,
what you're
okay,
talking about.
yeah.
Baidu.
Baidu's the Chinese Google.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right, gotcha.
All right. Yes. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, early 2017 for
Okay.
42.
Vinny and I also played The Fall Part 2.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is
Oh,
like the
yeah.
second chapter.
I watched you guys play The Fall Part 2.
Yeah, and that was super cool. That one story of the year from us, when it was released, and I think that aesthetic, that story, just the general feel still comes through in the second one, but they're adding some like combat and platforming, so not just like the the shooting stuff,
Yeah.
actual hand to hand stuff.
Huh.
That felt really clunky and not so good. They kind of drop you in the middle of the screen, and you've got enemies coming in from the left and the right, and you've got a time button presses like hit X for left or A
okay.
for right,
Sounds like that one finger kung fu something.
kind of something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I mean it looks good because they'll have like zoomed in kind of slow mo like action sequences. That's neat, but really you're just pressing two buttons and timing that.
Why do you say it's clunky? Is it just like
You're not moving.
responsive?
Like you're standing. Like
Oh.
you can't move left or right.
weird.
So you just kind of wait for them to come to
so
you.
it's like a quick time event?
Yeah. I mean, essentially.
Hmm.
But,
Shenmue's back.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's really necessary. The platforming stuff felt not so great either. Really floaty and just like
First game had none of this.
I don't remember there being platforming. They did have gun combat, but not like close quarter stuff. Not that I recall. And I don't think that they need this stuff. If they just kind of double down on the story, yeah, I think that'd be great.
I was
So-
meant to go back and play that. Vinny raved about it so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
that game, yeah, fucking, that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
That
This
was a great game.
what they had on the show floor is not in the final game. I
So-
believe they said
correct.
it's
yeah,
like
'cause
some PAX only demo that's like a
it was kind of light on story, and it kind of they made it so it was non-spoilery. So it technically takes place after the end of the first chapter.
Right.
So they had to like generalize some stuff, but it was kind of just a vertical slice of a story, just kind of its own standalone thing.
yeah, it
of
was,
sorts.
seemed like a
Yeah.
a side story.
But yeah, real cool. I can't wait for that. That's 2017, I guess.
Cool.
I want more.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's improved for sure. Like the look of the game. Cool. And it was pretty good looking before, but
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, we're all back from PAX, ready to do stuff.
Yeah.
Such as talk about the news
Of
the world. The headlines of things that happened. That
You're just humming John Cena's music.
is that the Price is Right theme?
Why is it not playing?
There we go.
Got it. Sorry.
Headlines.
Now you're just playing John Cena's music. I'm
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
confused.
Stole it from us. They had a Nintendo Direct.
Right. They
It was
did.
about
Yeah.
3DS.
Yeah.
We touched on this very briefly during the panel.
Right. It's crazy how much they have to get out in front of all of their announcements now to
Yeah.
say the NX will not be discussed during this 3DS
Yeah.
only
Yes,
presentation.
as we said last time, that was a significant portion of the announcement for this thing, was
Yeah.
to say no NX.
Right.
I'm glad they do that.
It's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it's nice to have your expectations managed. I mean, they said up front this would be 3DS only.
It's nice to be disappointed right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have their full, like the text from Nintendo.com about everything that happened. I'm just going to read this line from it right now. After emerging as the best-selling video game system in the United States in July, Nintendo 3DS has clear momentum going into the fall, the holiday season, and 2017, said Doug Bowser, Nintendo of America's Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
I forgot they had.
That's a real thing,
that
right?
is- yeah.
I would change my name too.
I'm sure some people knew about that already. I may have even seen it.
Well, I mean,
he's been there. He's been there for like a year and a half.
He's been there. I mean, obviously, he has a huge career as the head of Sha Na Na, and then at some point he had to get out of the 50s doo-wop parody television business and get a real job. And he's found himself at Nintendo, cleaned himself up. He's like, I'm going to start using my full name. Thank you.
Douglas
me Doug.
Douglas Bowser. Like the Douglas Q. Bowser.
Still fit his whole fist in his mouth, though.
Wow.
Anyway, that's I love that.
We've got the perfect demographic for these Sha Na Na bits. It's great stuff. It's great stuff.
Even without that, just the
Damn kids.
the synergy is just too perfect. I guess Mario Maker 3DS is still the biggest thing out of this.
No,
Biggest
I
in what
would
way?
actually say the biggest thing is
Well,
that
the most
new
worth
Pikmin
discussing.
Is,
well, so did they show that? I've got
They
the
did.
text in
They
front of
did.
me here.
They
I haven't
did.
seen it. It's a 2D Pikmin game.
So it looks like
or a
Yoshi's-
side-scrolling game.
Imagine if they took Yoshi's Island and like made the control not fucking shit with the fucking aiming, and it was just like the thing you want to do on a 3DS of tap on the screen and do stuff. Like that's this 2D Pikmin game.
Is it going to be
suddenly
similar?
very
Like,
interested.
like there's a big ladybug and you're just tapping it a bunch and throwing Pikmin?
Yeah.
I
Well,
haven't
the
seen
thing they
video.
showed was like, hey, there's a pit of fire up here, and you're tapping it to throw red Pikmin in it, and they're absorbing all the fire, so you can move forward.
So it's like Pikmin mechanics.
Yeah,
of,
totally.
different colored
but
Pikmin
in a
and
2D
everything.
side-scrolling game, yes, multicolored Pikmin.
That sounds cool.
It
That
actually,
sounds great.
It actually looks really good.
Okay. All right.
I mean, for like as far as like translating the Pikmin experience into a 2D thing and still looking like, okay, this is actually a game I would still absolutely want to play.
That's
What's
like
the
it.
art style? Is it like kind of 3D models? Or
It kind of looked like Donkey Kong Country to me, of like, hey, here are these way higher res models that have been kind of slapped into this lower res system or something. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably wrong on that.
That sounds
That
cool.
sounds cool.
I love Pikmin.
That sounds cooler than Mario Maker.
Yeah, Mario Maker just seems like a bummer.
Also-
what do they have like? What do you have their text on it?
Yes,
like
I have all their copy
parsed,
here.
Because I watched the video and then tried to parse like what they were saying and
Yeah.
what they weren't saying.
I have to read to you the first sentence
Okay.
of their copy on this game.
because they fucking did some hard spin
Dude.
on the nature of this thing.
Is the full name of this thing Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS?
Yes.
That's the title.
Yeah.
Here's the first line. Now Nintendo 3DS owners will have access to a near unlimited wealth of Super Mario courses to play.
That is actually true.
Wait, how so?
Because that is the one online thing you can do.
Oh. I thought that-
You can. My understanding is that you will be able to do the 100 Mario challenge
Oh, so you can still pull down
with levels that were created on the Wii.
Oh.
A subset of them. Some of
Okay.
them are not compatible.
Right.
And
So you just can't push levels up.
you can't push levels up, and you cannot search for specific levels to play.
Okay. Okay, I thought it had no.
So it is just like here's
connectivity.
random levels. Here
Yeah.
you go, random level, random
Okay.
level, random
Okay.
level.
Can you create levels?
Yes, but you cannot upload them. You can only
Right.
trade them locally
Yeah.
with your friends locally. And there's a new collaboration mode where you can mark a course as something that they can then edit, and you can kind of push it back and forth to work on it together.
Yeah.
And they have they have like 100 new levels.
Why
that
would
have
you put
different-
that in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Who's this for?
know. People that don't have Wi-Fi internet and people that don't like Wi-Fi internet games.
Wi-Fi games are the future, Jeff.
Wi-Fi games are the future.
Yeah, we've proven that.
But apparently not anymore. So they have. Actually, the bit that sounds like it might be fun to play, even if it's like a misguided thing, is they've got all these medal challenges. They've got 100 new levels with medals where it'll have different challenges like kill every enemy in this level.
Oh.
And stuff like that.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be fun.
Like Nintendo made levels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I look at that and go like, man, they should bring the ability to create courses with those sorts of restrictions
Oh, yeah.
back to the other version of the game too, and keep these two things in sync. What the fuck are you doing? But yeah, the like hampered online functionality. Like, I always thought they should have put out Mario Maker on the 3DS without any of the creation and just have it be a very cheap front end for playing the levels made
just
on
a
the Wii.
Mario Maker
Yeah.
dumb
Yeah.
terminal.
That's why, like, if you're gonna go to the trouble to make the making part of it,
Mhm.
why not go all the way?
Yeah, I don't know. Any course that uses the costume amiibo for Mario 1 will not work on this version of the game.
Why
It sounds
not?
because it sounds like it will not have that item for creating levels either.
Okay.
Which the only guess I sat thinking about this for a while because I was on an airplane.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet that they have to pay licensing fees associated with some of the costumes they've used
For each platform, maybe.
and that they would have to like redo those deals to support like fucking whatever J-pop stars and fucking Cars and Ryu and all that other stuff.
Why wouldn't they just take those out and keep the Nintendo ones?
I mean, yeah, that would be a great solution to this problem. But you know, just say like, hey, if you want to play this level and it had a specific mushroom in it, guess what? It's going to be randomized now.
Yeah, now it's Little Mac instead of a K-pop star.
Right? Yeah, that would be acceptable. That would be totally acceptable. I don't know. Maybe there's something we're not thinking of other than that broke it.
But making levels on the go that you can then introduce back into the greater Mario Maker ecosystem, like that seems like
introducing those tools and that platform to a much larger influx of potential players.
Well, not only that, but somebody like Dan sitting on a bus into New York for an hour every day.
I would love
sit
that.
there making levels
if
on
I
the
could
bus.
upload, that'd be amazing.
But if you can't do anything with them, what's the point?
Fuck it.
Well,
people on the bus, they could play it.
They've got a product for you, and it's called the Nintendo NX.
Okay.
Let me tell you about this thing. You are going to take it, you're going to walk up to your TV where it is sitting next to it in a dock. You are going to pick it up and walk away onto the bus with it, all the while creating new Mario levels and a brand new version of Mario Maker that you will definitely pay for.
I'm going to be really bummed out if all they do is make another Super Mario Maker and instead of like truly blowing out that concept in the way they should.
I would hope that when and if they eventually do make an NX Mario Maker, one would hope that they would make significant
more than just like
changes.
Here it is on the NX with a few new things. Like, that would be really
it needs to be
unfortunate.
Here it is on the NX with a lot of new things,
right?
And maybe Mario 2
or a new franchise, or like 3D stuff.
Yes,
you know?
totally. Like
Flood, get Flood in there.
3D stuff wouldn't work. I mean, I would be totally okay with putting a 2D version of Flood into that. It's like, hey, you can make a level that's got some Flood stuff in it.
Jetpack stuff.
That'd be like a weird, cool addition.
Yeah. 2 would be such a weird thing to add.
I mean,
just changes everything.
Mechanically, it would be tough to shoehorn in there. But
it would be. So maybe then instead you do Land or Land 2.
Maybe.
Or something like that. I think that would be neat.
I hope the future of this franchise is not just like constant iteration with tiny changes.
Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
I guess I could. Well, again, that's mechanically very different from
different.
the other stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah.
See what they do with it.
Yeah, so it's I'm on some level not surprised that they are putting this out and completely fucking up the thing you want to do with it in a way that makes it largely useless. Or actually, it's even more disappointing because there are parts of it, like the new levels and stuff, that's like, oh, I would love to see that sort of stuff, but they've gutted the parts that actually matter, and that sort of sucks.
Less than ideal. Yoshi's Woolly World is coming to 3DS.
Cool.
With Poochie?
Yeah. From that Simpsons episode.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this. I don't know who Nintendo's Poochie is.
They're doing a Poochie amiibo.
He's the dog that you can ride on. He was actually kind of in, he wasn't named Poochie, I don't think, in Yoshi's Island, but you'd stand on the dog, and depending on where you're facing, he would run and jump, and he could run over spikes and stuff.
Okay.
He's been around. He's getting a starring role now, though.
That sounds like the game. It's not a totally new game. It's Woolly World.
I think it's got some new levels, but the majority of the courses are from the other game.
Exclusive new stages focus on Poochie.
Poochie. What are the things called? The spiky spheres that are all stacked on top of each other.
The cactus?
Pokey?
Yeah.
Pokey.
Pokey.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Pokey's
then
great.
Monster Hunter, the pigs are called Poogies.
Okay.
And you can pet them, and you can also buy plush versions of them at PAX, which I did.
Oof.
And he came vacuum sealed, which is pretty awesome. So he's all squished and stuff.
Nice.
So he'd look like pig jerky. It was great. So he stayed fresh.
That's delicious.
Until I got
merch,
home. Yeah, I'm into it.
I guess the other big thing, they talk about a bunch of smaller games that are coming out, most of which I think we're already known about.
Yeah, this is them going like, hey, like extreme first-party development on the 3DS has transferred over to an unnamed platform.
Yes.
So now here's the stuff that we've been banking on that came out in Japan months ago that's going to fill this gap.
Yes,
for the next...
stuff like Yokai Watch 2 or that Dragon Quest 7 remake.
Dragon Quest 8 remake also.
Oh, is that also happening?
Yeah.
And Yokai
I
Watch
think we just got the 7 remake, but 8 is
yeah.
coming out next year.
Okay, 8 was a PS2 game, so that's interesting. Like, Hyrule Warriors Legends DLC. But the other big thing is that they updated the freaking Street Pass Plaza. Here it is. Street Pass Me Plaza. Now allows up to 100 Street Passes instead of 10.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. It's about 4 years too late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
I did not bring my 3DS to PAX.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Had no interest in carrying that thing around.
I've tried at various events, and it's just like, man, I can't check it. Like
it used to be great
every 10 minutes.
but yeah, you had to clear it out constantly, or you're not maximizing.
Yeah.
So the increase to 100 makes total sense, but that's
Some Street Pass games included in there.
Yeah, like the bulk of that announcement was like, we've sped up the rate at which you can play the Street Pass games so you can get through them faster. Like, oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess they super time consuming and kind of dull, so I guess that makes sense.
Do you have any idea? It doesn't really spell it out here. If you have to pay for this new stuff to get that 100 Street Pass update,
I don't know.
Okay,
I doubt for the 100. I bet if there's new games, I would imagine, but like that seems like a quality of life improvement.
Yeah, I saw some people speculating on Twitter that you might have to buy these new Street Pass games to get that new functionality, but that'd be
weird.
That would be bad.
I had some notification that there was an update to the Plaza thing available, so I would have to imagine the 100 came with that, and then it's like, oh, also buy this.
Also, here's these games. Yeah.
Rabbit comes back and tells you about his kids.
They're
dying.
Lastly,
give me some money.
I don't think this is the first time this has happened, but they officially use the word nindies in this thing.
Oh yeah,
so
they've used it for a little while now.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd have a dedicated like room set up there. That was kind of cool. Checking out some of the games that are now coming out, on Wii, from 3DS. So like Axiom Verge,
Right.
And that makes what's that?
AM2R.
The ultimate indie.
I wish, but
that was in a separate room where the Neil Legals were set up.
But yeah, they all make pretty good use of the the second screen functionality, adding maps or whatever.
Cool.
So Shantae looks good too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of illegal activity,
Yeah.
Jeff, it's time to check in on the state of Vita homebrew.
Illegal activity.
Yes.
Okay.
Some stuff's been going on.
It has, and it's been accelerating pretty quickly. Where there's a custom firmware. So Sony's already patched it. So if you're on latest firmware, they've kind of corrected the loopholes and all that sort of stuff.
And we talked about the initial exploit
we did,
2 months ago now.
I guess
Has
it's
it been that long?
Yeah.
3.60 is the one that had a
so
a web-based.
that has ultimately led to piracy, and now that stuff is starting to run rampant. It seems like that they haven't quite gotten there yet, but like they kind of blew the fucking doors off this thing.
It had to be inevitable. I mean, if you remember, the original creator of the exploit said, like, I'm not going to develop anything that enables piracy, but I'm also not going to stop anybody.
Right. So it eventually got there, and now people are
doing what they do.
That stuff is on the internet, and it's happening, and that's a bummer, but I have to imagine that like Vita sales are so like how many people are buying Vita games in this day and age, and like I wonder how damaging this would actually be to a business. I mean, if you still have a Vita game coming out, I imagine this is fucking devastating news.
But how many are there that aren't like just cross-buy versions of?
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I wonder if having the Vita be an easy emulator platform would sell more Vitas.
It sells hardware, and they've, I'm sure that there are those clogging up shelves and stuff like that. So yeah, I wonder if there was like a scramble to be like, oh shit, we need to get a Vita before they start releasing more Vitas with the firmware that closes the hole. To which I think, like, I don't know that they're actually putting more Vitas out on shelves these days, are there? It's just like Borderlands 2 packs as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
I don't know one way or the other actually, but yeah, I don't know. Memory cards are still super expensive for that thing if you want the 64 gigs. So, if you want to actually start loading it up with that kind of stuff, it gets crazy fast, or gets expensive fast too.
That thing is not the most powerful platform, but what's like the realistic expectation for
emulation stuff?
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
I think I saw it was doing SNES games at full speed.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. Yeah. I mean, there's already a PSP emulator built into that thing somewhere. Right. So I'm sure if they hack away enough at it, they'll eventually get there with that. I could, PS1 stuff runs on PSP, so through that emulator, you could emulate in the emulator once they get there.
Sure.
But I doubt you would see like full speed Saturn or PS2 or anything like that.
That seems like a tall order.
Depends on the game, I'm sure, but anyway, that stuff happened, and Sony plugged it up real quick, but that stuff is going on in a way that it was not before. It reminds me of the PSP days, the early PSP days of custom firmware and all that sort of stuff, where like, oh, this went from like, let's make our own games on the side to like, it got real nasty real fast, and you're just like, people out there just like, yo, dump this game for me, son. This is like, oh shit, this has got crazy. Oof.
Yep. It happened.
But yeah, I wonder like if that will even affect the business, or so much of the Vita business has been shut down at this point.
Yeah,
is anyone at Sony even aware that it happened?
Somebody cares. But yeah, I couldn't find it, but I feel like hasn't Sony made some soft statements in the past about the state of the Vita business in terms of like we're not going to allocate significant original development resources to this thing anymore.
I mean, you look at the output, and you
can
can
tell
see that.
but I feel like
everything that's
even
coming out is like a third-party thing at this point. So and a lot of it are these smaller indie games that are out on other platforms.
Yeah,
but at that point, like if they had to spend their money to decide to port it to the Vita, and now those sales are fucking shot in the head.
Yeah,
like
if it's just giving people an avenue to like, well, if we put it on Vita, they can pirate it on Vita and then maybe not buy it on one of our other platforms.
Yeah, that's another potential issue. Sure.
And maybe they stop doing as many Vita ports, which would be a real bummer.
I feel like that stuff was going to have to wind down sooner or later anyway. It's just, I would just wonder if it's even worth it. But I guess I don't know enough about the numbers to know one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if this was just one more thing that kind of slowly got the Vita out of the conversation completely.
Yeah.
Which was going to happen anyway.
Could see that. Y'all like Duke Nukem?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I did.
If you
when I was
really,
12,
I was
I
gonna
guess,
say,
but-
like, if you really total it up, the full output of Duke Nukem, I think at this point my answer is like, no, not really. I guess not. I guess I don't.
Just a big Land of the Babes fan.
You don't
Just
like
that one.
You don't like those first two games?
Those were okay.
Yeah.
You
Never played those.
could pee on stuff, I think. I think there were some pseudo boobs.
You can kick stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
That's not till the third one.
Yeah,
one
let
and
me-
two did not have.
let me refine my question. Do you like Duke Nukem 3D?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I like 3D.
Would you like to play it on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or PC on October 11th in high fidelity?
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I want it on the Vita.
Completely
new
redrawn
models?
Looks
art
better? No,
or
I don't believe so.
just higher resolution version of the old art, which I can't imagine that exists in a higher resolution. So
Gearbox is putting it out, and they're referring to something called True 3D rendering.
yeah,
So yeah, it'll have like a new graphics mode, and it'll, like you can swap the visuals on the fly,
It's gonna look like when they make an amiibo out of like a 8-bit Mario sprite, and it just like
probably
something like
gets
that.
fatter.
The bit that I saw looked like.
What if I told you there was a new 8-level episode partially authored by Level Lord?
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. They got Alan Bloom III and Level Lord, who both worked on.
They also got John St. John back in the
Yes,
studio. to
John St.
record some
John
new
is
dialogue,
doing new
which
dialogue.
Some of that's in the trailer.
Yeah. No? Have they not learned? No.
Are the lines bad or is the delivery bad?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Really?
Anyway,
John St. John can do work.
oh yeah,
if he
yeah,
has
but
good
it's-
material to
I
work
just,
with.
it's
He's in Dota.
like that stuff is so fucking corny.
He's in Dota.
Yeah, he is.
Oh well, the ultimate fucking high bar
I'm
for
just
voice
saying,
work
dude. There's some fucking amazing voice work
that
in
all comes
Dota.
from other games.
No. That is the best vehicle for bad puns I have ever seen.
All right.
You have to
Maybe
take
I
my
should
word
start
for
playing
this.
Dota.
Yeah, you should probably start playing Dota.
I've thought about it.
You should buy a racing wheel and start playing Dota.
Yeah.
I already got one.
Yeah, I don't know that the trailer. You know, they showed a little bit of the new episode, like some Egyptian pyramid looking motif, and but you know, the end of the like post credit little thing in that trailer is Duke Nukem opening a bathroom stall, and one of the aliens is sitting on the toilet, and then he kills him.
Oh man.
That's it.
Oh
You're
man.
Like, you're like, fuck yeah, Duke did it again.
Gotta
Like,
be rated M.
You just look at it
Wow.
and just go like, yeah, fuck, okay.
That seems like Duke Nukem to me.
I guess
don't
so.
know.
Yeah, that seemed yes, exactly. It was very on brand for Duke Nukem, but I don't know, man.
This thing's got in-game commentary,
That's cool.
which is cool.
I fucking really liked Duke 3D when it first came out.
Yeah, it was
I
amazing.
played a lot of multiplayer. I did a lot of stuff, but like they have released that game enough now that like
Yeah, I think I've got it on XBLA.
Yeah.
and iOS
Yep.
the idea of playing
and
through,
Vita. I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Now that I think
It's like
about it,
Atomic Edition or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Come to think of it,
the
I've
idea
got-
like playing through that original campaign again.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'm caught up. Like the new stuff doesn't like that's not. I don't necessarily want more new Duke Nukem either. I just wonder.
I think Duke Nukem's fine being done at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really need new Duke Nukem.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see how you insert that character back into modern gaming.
I mean, they
Without-
tried.
Modern gaming.
Yeah.
When they started working on that game, it was not
Right.
modern. times.
I don't know. I would at least say that it's for $20. It sounds like there's a decent amount of stuff.
Yeah, if you don't already, I mean, the commentary, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
If
commentary, new graphics mode, and a new
if you haven't already stumbled into one of these re-releases of Duke 3D already, like it's still neat to go back to it.
Sure.
Do you know if the commentary is of the original stuff as well?
Yeah, it sounds like it's across the whole game.
Okay.
It's described as in-game commentary, so I think it's like kind of Valve style.
That'd be cool.
Original development team, it says. So
I'd be all for this glut of re-releases if there were more of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
something that, like, here, we're going to tell the story of this game with the people that made it. Like,
Right.
that's the interesting part. But I would almost rather just watch a really good Duke Nukem documentary.
yeah, I would pretty much always rather
I mean, yeah.
have a film than do something in-game.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to talk about it that much, but that Firewatch stuff that I mentioned at the panel,
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of people in that audience, but that stuff's like shockingly comprehensive. They're doing a ton of work
Cool.
on that stuff. It's like I mentioned, it's kind of like museum displays, like you walk up to a kiosk and stick a tape in your tape player and they start
And
narrating.
that game's like slow enough that you can
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
and still play the game.
But on top of
I guess,
that,
right?
they have these big ass like kind of poster board looking museum displays where they've got, it's not even just concept art. It's like, here is a giant like logic flowchart from Unity that shows how we did the scene in front of you.
Oh,
With like all
wow.
the logic hooked
Yeah,
up.
that's cool.
Like a lot of like hardcore graphics programmer talk about the time of day stuff and like how the skybox works. Like I said, with a platform in front of you where you can step on switches to like change the time of day and trigger weather effects and
That
stuff.
sounds really cool.
Like as they're describing how they did it, like it seems really cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, that's coming soonish.
And is that just getting patched into the game
Yeah,
for
it's-
people who
it's-
already own it?
It's
not-
free. It's
okay.
free on the existing platforms, and
Yeah.
it'll be in the Xbox version, I believe.
Oh,
they said,
right. Yeah, it's not out there.
when that comes out.
Yeah.
I
I wonder if they'll have a steps taken leaderboard like
Oh, yeah.
Gone Home did on Xbox One.
that would be really good.
I'll get my rubber bands, my knives out, top that leaderboard.
EVE Online going free to play.
Yeah.
Wait, it wasn't?
No,
No, it's not.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean,
Wow.
if you played it well enough, it was.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Grind out that Plex.
It's more like
that
you,
is
you play
Yeah.
to free.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
But it's
play to play.
Mhm.
World of Warcraft does that now. You can buy
Yeah.
months with gold.
Yeah.
It's cool.
This is a really good idea, I think,
It is. Yeah.
because everyone who doesn't play EVE Online hears about EVE Online is intimidating and scary.
Sure.
And even if you do take that step of paying $15 a month or whatever it is normally,
Yeah.
you've got a long way to climb, and you don't know if it's a tough sell.
Mm-hmm. They've had the game in Steam sales for like $5 and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which is like
Yeah,
a
sure.
good price to just get in and see if you think it's for you or not. But having something you can actually get in there and fuck around with is probably smart.
So what changes with this?
Yeah,
game
it sounds
free to play?
it sounds like they're handling that stuff pretty well because they're basically putting paying players into one silo and free players in another, and the only difference is that free players are limited to specific ships and can only learn a subset of the skills on like the ability tree, and that sounds like that's dependent on what faction they join.
Okay.
But it seems like
Isn't
they
that-
can still join corporations
yeah,
and still
yeah,
be,
it sounds
of
like-
value to the paying
It
players.
sounds like
so-
mechanically you have access to everything except for it's like you have
It's
a
the same
access to a
universe
subset of
and
everything.
everything.
Yes, you can go everywhere, you can see everything.
Okay.
It's just you can only own certain ships and only have certain abilities. But other than that, it sounds like the same game. I hope this isn't like commentary on how that thing is doing. I have to imagine it's more like they thought it was an interesting way to like broaden the appeal of the game,
I guess. I don't know.
as opposed to the classical model of MMOs of like this
Right.
thing's
Oh,
about
shit,
to
oh, shit, oh,
die, so we should make it free to play. Like this thing has been around for so long.
I mean, my understanding is that the EVE Online has been the only MMO where its subscribers grow.
Yeah, it's been a slow, steady burn, right? Since was it 2003, 2 that it came out? 3.
Wow.
Yeah, they've innovated a lot in that space. It seems like they continue to do so.
And they've got their sub products and stuff like that. That like there's the Dust 514 was supposed to eventually they were supposed to have like a shooter experience that tied back
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
main Eve game.
PS3. I think that came out.
It came out.
It came
Yeah,
out
it
and
did.
it has been since shut down.
But I don't think it was anywhere near as like ambitious as they described
no,
it, right?
but they
It sounded amazing. It was like, corporations in the MMO will be able to send the shooter players out on bounties and contracts.
I think
and
they still
stuff,
had
and-
some out of ship experience stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in or coming or what the deal was. Ever happened with that? I just don't follow it close enough. But
Yeah.
I always thought that Eve Valkyrie should tie into it somehow too, but that game is such a small little thing that the idea of having it like funnel into this larger thing maybe doesn't make sense.
Are people playing it now, Valkyrie?
I haven't played it in probably about a month, but
Yeah.
last time I played it, I got into almost a full game. They made some smart changes a while back. They rolled out a carrier attack mode and changed the way stuff gets unlocked in a way that makes it easier to see more ships. So that stuff was good.
Also, this says CCP will fly the entire Council of Stellar Management to their headquarters next month. Whatever that is. I mean, it's a player organization.
Player organization, yeah.
I mean, they did that for when Patrick and I went there.
Yeah, they seem incredibly cool about interfacing with their community.
I think they've made some missteps along the way that angered that faction of players, but they at least seem to be listening to them.
Sure. Last story. Other MMOs are maybe not on such fruitful times here. Firefall.
Yeah.
Is that an MMO?
Yeah.
Does that count as an MMO?
Yeah, it is.
Seems to have quietly shut down entirely.
It was back up last I heard.
Wait.
Where did you look today? Because it seemed like there was a while there that their forums were down and the game was down, but then the forums were back up. And someone was posting from an admin account saying servers are coming back up.
I pulled this story this morning and there was no update on it.
Okay.
This is from Kotaku.
Is that a story from today or is it from?
No, it's the story from last week when it happened.
Okay.
But they had not updated the story.
Okay, I don't know.
Let me go straight to the source here.
It looked like Firefall was back up last time I looked, but yeah, they did have some outage for a while. That like it got removed from Steam because it was an extended outage that I think someone just assumed, oh well, this company is gone.
Yeah,
because they were calling over there and the phone tree was empty and all this other stuff. So we're like, oh, maybe just Red 5 just blew up in the night. And
this was hot on the heels of stories coming out of there of people not getting paid and all kinds of stuff like that.
So I think at some point, I don't know what would have triggered it getting pulled off Steam, but my understanding is it was pulled from Steam and then this same account on their forums was like, it's coming back. It'll be back. Yeah, we had to. So I'm not really sure. Maybe it went through some harsh transition of ownership or something like that they just haven't acknowledged yet. And as a result of the contracts changing hands, their phone tree went dead and the game went down, servers went down in the transition, and then wherever Steam pays went dark long enough for Valve to pull it. I don't know. Maybe they had to get new contracts in place. Who knows?
This Firefall subreddit is a real roller coaster.
Oh yeah,
of emotions,
it has
right?
been
Looking
for a
at this
while.
thing.
That fucking,
obviously,
the dude that used to run the game is in there
Let's not. Let's just not.
Yeah.
But yeah. Even here, that just every other post is like, it's dead. It's not dead. It's back. It's dead. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
At this point, what's going on with that thing?
Yeah. I actually reinstalled Firefall about a month ago. When there started being some amount of like, hey, this seems shaky. I was like, shit, I better download this now.
Sure. That's fair.
We did a quick look of it. It seemed fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody ever had anything against the game itself.
Yeah, the game. It's just it
Just
was
the PAX booths.
It was
more of the booths and
and the StarCraft font. It was really fucking boring, and the bus. It was really just boring. So I logged back into the game, and I had logged out somewhere that I think might not exist anymore because I just spawned in the fucking sky, walking around. And I was like, oh, okay,
cool,
good.
And a lot of my progress seemed to be reset to where it was like trying to get me to do early tutorial stuff. I mean, it had been a long time.
Yeah,
since
they may,
so
that happens.
Who
If they
knows?
rebalance or redesign stuff.
Meanwhile, Star Trek Online is out on consoles now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you try it?
No, not yet.
That's weird. I assume your subscription works there.
I would hope.
Oh, you should find out.
I would really
If you don't know for a fact, then
yeah.
you have to find out.
Yeah, I intend to.
You have to install that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Try to play it.
Which consoles? Just curious.
Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
There we go.
Wait, you don't play Star Trek Online, do you?
No.
You thinking about it?
No.
Okay.
No, not happening.
All right. Okay. That's it for news. We already talked about the ARC stuff. That's still crappy. 30 minutes later. How are you guys doing? You want a break or do you want to go straight to emails? Dan?
I'm
having
not on the verge of urinating.
Okay.
I might be on the verge of... Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We can take a
I mean,
quick break.
I'll pee if we're taking it.
Okay. All right. That's 2 votes for yes. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back and talk about emails.
All right.
All right. This is what happens when we record live. News breaks.
Yeah, no, this
hot
happened,
off the presses.
This happened this morning, or I saw it this morning, and forgot to mention we were talking about news.
Oh, well, this is a couple hours old.
Yeah, it looks like Sega is teasing Space Channel 5 VR at TGS.
What?
I'm in.
That's so
I'm
nuts.
in.
Assuming it's like sc5-vr.com, assuming that is all legit, like they are pitching like a showing at TGS.
Yeah,
Wow.
they mentioned HTC on that page.
Yeah.
It's got a little blurry, like two-field looking VR
Yeah, with
helmet
the ooh-la-la
display
at the
thing
end of
on
it.
it.
It's-
La dancing around in the background.
Yeah, so I will
Could be StarCraft 5. You never know.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Soul
point.
Calibur
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I clicked on it, I actually thought it was Soul Calibur 5.
Oh.
And I was like, what? That can't be right.
And then you were pleasantly
Yeah,
surprised.
I was like, oh, good. It might actually be a game worth
I wonder.
playing.
It would have to be a new game, right? Didn't
I mean,
yeah.
those games all used like pre-rendered
the
assets,
page
right?
also
So you couldn't.
links to Space Channel 5 and Space Channel 5 Part 2, so maybe it could be a reissue of those games with VR support.
Even
Hard
so.
to
Well, that's
say.
what I mean. I don't know how that would work with static 2D assets. They'd have to go back in and rebuild the game in 3D.
It wasn't. I mean, no,
Was it?
It was
I
polygonal.
thought
Yeah.
that's where there
Yeah.
were large parts of that were like
Are you thinking of Samba de Amigo?
fake 3D Final Fantasy VII style, like rendered flat
Only
2D,
in like
2D
the
backgrounds.
cutscenes.
They were
Yeah.
polygonal.
Maybe my memory is okay.
Was
No,
Michael
'cause-
Jackson
'cause, like the
polygonal?
frame rate was shit in one of the versions
Yeah.
of the game.
Either
so,
way, I'm sure they would
in
have
a way
to do
that
a fair amount of work to make that look good in VR.
VR Michael Jackson.
What if they just
Yeah.
made a new Space Channel 5
that'd be all right
Yes,
too.
That'd be great.
and
Yeah.
it was in VR?
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. That's exciting.
Man, I
Yeah.
just,
TGS
I
is
just want
starting to
Ooh La
seem
La
kind of
save
exciting.
me. I would dance behind her. I would totally get. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
You and Space Michael.
yeah. We're
TG
hanging out
TGS
on
is-
the space station.
TGS is starting to become Yo. You remember the Dreamcast?
VR Seaman.
That was cool.
Ooh, whoa.
Mm.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You are the Seaman.
Nope. It's just like you're wearing the goggles and you see people coming up and tapping on the glass,
Yeah.
and then you die.
And you creep them out.
Okay. Yeah.
A spider
I
eats
could
you.
get into that.
That's soon, right? TGS?
Yes, it is next week.
Yeah.
I believe.
14, 15,
It's
maybe
like
the week
end of
after
next
that,
week.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys think that's when next stuff happens?
There's some talk going around that they might announce directly before TGS starts,
Hmm.
but there hasn't. I don't know that anything's been sent out, and Nintendo doesn't show at TGS, or they typically have not.
I have to assume that'll just be a direct style thing, a pre-recorded, edited
Yeah.
piece. There's no way
I
they're going to
would-
do a live thing for that, right?
I would assume so, but
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder.
I mean, it works.
Maybe they didn't. Yeah, I guess they haven't had huge direct leaks before, so maybe.
I mean, when you don't have to like have a whole production crew and different
Right,
Like the
people.
Kodak Theater.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
give a guy, the prompter guy your script and
yeah, just produce the whole thing a
Yeah.
month before, and
Internally.
then push play on the tape. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing they show at E3, like the past few years, they've shown it early to some members of the press, so they can still do that.
can't
too.
trust those production people.
No, definitely not.
It's what they do. They keep their camera rolling even though you tell them not to.
Yeah, exactly.
So the red light just means it's charging.
Right.
Like the guy who taught Frank Ocean how to build a staircase and totally spoiled that Frank Ocean built a staircase, but everyone thought he was crazy when he told someone.
Crazy like a fox.
Now who's crazy?
Since we're tacking stuff onto news, I just have to mention that Hitman Episode 5 has been detailed.
What is
It's
it?
the one set in Colorado.
Oh, okay. That's the U.S. one.
Yes.
Okay.
It has
That is
4
neat.
targets.
Oh, shit. Is it in the mountains?
There's a shot of 47 with a sniper rifle. I mean, it's like a mountain town. It looks like he's going to
Okay.
be on the roof of a building. The name of this episode, Freedom Fighters.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect.
Are you going to be
Amazing.
able to push someone off
So
a ski
good.
lift at some point?
I hope so.
Are you going to be able to take back America
Yes.
from foreign invaders?
Yes, you're definitely going to be able to do that.
Great. Okay. Awesome.
The game just continues
Finally,
to be...
IO making a new Freedom Fighters.
Finally. It's taken so long. All right. It's time to move into some emails. Bombcast at giantbomb.com.
It's coming. It's coming.
Whoa.
That's the email address. First email comes in from Brandon. Brad brought up last week that Persona 5 will be shipping in Japan soon, which will open up a 5-month spoiler period for us English-speaking plebeians. This got me thinking, how often has this really happened in the time since we sold our souls to social media? It seems like the days of lengthy localization periods for significant story-driven Japanese releases haven't really been a thing in the Twitter era, either because games hit relatively close release windows worldwide or because there aren't as many of those types of games coming out of that region. As someone who plays a ton of Japanese games, I can't really recall ever being overly concerned about having a game spoiled for me on social media during a localization window, whereas I'm sure it would have been much more of a thing back in the day.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to remember any like recent examples. I mean, they'd have to be relatively recent.
Like Dark Souls 3 was kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Because it came out in Japan, but that was only like a 3-week period.
Yeah.
And even there, like the entire game was out on the internet in video within like
Right.
3 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like PS1 Final Fantasies, wasn't it months usually?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 came out way
Yeah, it was a good,
beforehand. Like they were all, most of those games did,
Yeah,
if I remember.
absolutely.
GS4? Or was that
think
simultaneous?
that was simultaneous.
I think by that time they were pretty much
Yeah.
doing simultaneous. I think even
Even 2 and stuff.
two.
was not-
Yeah, surely we would have heard about the shit in 2 way,
Oh, yeah,
way in advance
definitely.
if it come out
Yeah.
over. Yeah, I think even there. Yeah, I don't know. Just be careful, I guess, out there.
Yeah, I guess like
Like
it's
all of Persona 5 is going to be on the internet very quickly.
like Famitsu reviewed it. Like,
Yeah.
it's out real soon.
Man, remember when Famitsu reviews meant something?
No,
No?
no, I do not.
They gave it a 39.
Oh wow,
That's almost perfect.
great.
Who would have thought?
Huh? How many interviews did they send to the publishers for editing before they ran?
Yeah.
As is apparently the custom with Japanese media.
Brandon also mentions that Atlas has said it's unlikely that there will be both language options in the English version, and he's all, what the hell's up with that?
Maybe
why
it's a
does he-
space issue. I
Yeah.
would say,
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that'd be a full ass Blu-ray if they couldn't fit it all. But
Yeah.
Or they'll
That's a lot
sell
of
you
space.
the alternate tracks
Sell you, yeah,
as DLC.
$10 DLC.
I think they've done that stuff
Mm.
before.
maybe they're making significant changes to the flow of some scenes to fit the English dialogue that then would
Yeah.
not make it as easy as just slapping the audio in.
Maybe that
or
doesn't,
something like
doesn't
that.
map back.
Yeah, don't really know.
Hard to say. Drew, you want to hear about some Olympic fencing
Yeah, I do.
versus actual fencing? 'Cause We
Yeah.
were talking about fencing recently.
In actual fencing, you die.
That actually sounds kind of like the case. This email comes in from Julian. I spent a year working under the third best French foil fencer in the world in multiple college courses,
Whoa.
and I thought you might find it interesting how classic fencers view Olympic fencers. The system's set
All
up
right,
for...
he's talking about everyone is fencing,
Yes.
not sword fighting.
Yeah.
He's talking about
Fencing.
classic fencing with the mask and the wiggly
Yeah,
sword
it's still
Foil.
versus
Versus
Olympic mask
fencing.
and wiggly sword. All right,
Yeah.
we're not comparing fencing
Like the
to
real shit versus
sword
Tron.
fighting.
Yes, no.
Okay.
paintball versus laser tag. Go.
All right. Okay, here's his description. The systems set up for the Olympics only require a touch of jacket to tip, and I assume tip is winning?
Get a point, sure.
Or, yeah, okay. And as such, the game has turned into a game of playing with whips in an effort to touch the opponent. Talk to any classic fencer, and you'll see them fly into a rage since it's so far beyond what French killing people fencing was in Europe that it barely resembles it.
Yeah, it barely looks like sword fighting
Right.
anymore.
Classic foil fencing is the closest thing I've ever done to a fighting game where you have to bait and double bait and defend, and one mistake gets you figuratively run through, and it's super intense if you have a good match. Look it up. It's really crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Olympics aren't a level of insane skill I can't begin to fathom, even if it's not necessarily a martial art anymore. But coming from that area, the sheer disgust and disrespect sent their way is funny, especially now that I'm out the other side and I can see that it doesn't matter to the Olympics.
Huh.
Have you
I would like to see what classic fencing looks like then.
apparently you'd stab. Well, not actually.
Yeah, it looks
but
more like actual
you were
murder.
a lot closer to stabbing
All
people.
right.
Have you ever fenced at all?
I have one time.
Okay, I was gonna say. I feel like having fenced is
That's
a big
just part of CrossFit.
is part of
Right,
is a
yeah.
big part of the Drew brand.
Which
That
one
was
did
your workout of the day one day is they just show up and it's like,
Here you go.
Here's,
Here's your
a
mask.
sword, fencing gear, and I don't know, some tires.
Get to stabbing.
Which one was Madonna doing in that Bond movie?
Which Bond movie?
Die
was
Another
Madonna
Day.
in?
Madonna's in it, and she's like a fencing person.
I'm gonna say that's probably more like Olympic fencing.
How floppy
She-
were the
she-
swords?
It didn't seem super floppy, but she had the beekeeper thing on because I remember it was the big reveal, like, oh wow, it was Madonna the whole time.
I think that's neither. I think
Okay.
that's probably just Hollywood.
Okay.
The stage combat.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now Dick Tracy, she was really fencing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Stolen goods.
Mhm.
Dick Tracy had to step in.
Wait, was there fencing in Dick Tracy?
No,
I don't know. I haven't seen Dick Tracy since it was in theaters.
Yeah, same here.
it was a good Genesis game. That's all I know. I don't know. There was no
Okay.
fencing in the game.
All right. Bad guy's name was Big Boy.
Mm-hmm. He
Oh,
did
yeah.
I
it.
always thought
And
that
he
was
did
kind of
it.
funny. Big Boy did it.
Big Boy did it.
Aiden writes in from Illinois. I've been watching the video podcast recently and wondering how you guys deal with headphone hair. Even when my hair is super short, I still get that indent in my hair after only a short time of wearing headphones, and it makes me not want to wear them at all. All of you minus New Dan have at least some amount of hair on your heads, and wearing headphones during all the recording you do must be killer. Any tips would be appreciated.
I noticed just today that you keep your headphones rearward.
Oh, wow.
Like off the head.
Off the head.
When your hair has some amount of volume and there's also stuff in it, it takes on the properties of whatever you put on it real bad.
Wow.
So yeah, if you extend the headphone all the way out and tilt it back, it'll...
I don't have stuff in this part of my hair,
it'll
so it's
float.
usually okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens.
It does happen. Comb works. Perhaps a brush.
I'm more of a brush
Earbuds.
guy than a comb guy.
Yeah.
I think when we get the cough buttons and jacks hooked up, I'm going to bring different headphones in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be
Is that an option?
BYOH, yeah.
No kidding. Oh man, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I never had a comb or used product, so even when I had hair, it never really did anything to it. I mean, I'd get like a slight little thing, but I never had anything in there. So
I was hanging out at a bar at PAX, and Dave Lang walked up behind me and tried to run his fingers through my hair.
How'd that go?
He regretted it.
Yeah. Was he just like,
Did he get stuck?
Yes, he was
Did he get
very
stuck
much
in there.
He was very much like, that doesn't feel good at all. It's like, fucking, what did you think was in there?
yeah, well,
Takes a lot of product
was
to
fun.
get it to look that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
I
I wear a hat mostly.
Yeah,
like if I'm at
hats
home,
work.
yeah, I just wear a hat and I don't give a shit. But like here at work, I also don't give a shit. But,
I forgot to bring a hat to PAX, so that presented a unique challenge in the mornings when I wanted to go get coffee before showering and look like a crazy person.
that's okay. Everyone in Seattle looked like a crazy
That's
person.
fair. That is very fair. Jason Jamal writes in from Hillsborough, New Jersey with a question for you.
what you got?
I just finished last week's cast, I think this was a couple weeks ago now, and heard that Jason has a shellfish allergy. My shellfish allergy is similar in that I get sick if I smell it and will expire within 15 minutes if I eat it.
Whoa.
Japan seems cool, but I'd like to come back alive. I was wondering if Jason has ever been, and how did he avoid shellfish while there?
Did not, yeah, and I would be super afraid to go actually, because there is a lot of it, and it's just kind of ingrained in their like cuisine for the most part.
There's
so,
McDonald's.
There is.
They'll
They have
sell
like
you.
black bun burgers over there. Don't
Yeah,
they?
I can't tell you what's in those. Might
Probably
be shellfish.
Yeah.
Might be
Makes
crickets.
it black. Could be crickets.
Oh yeah, piecemeal.
Just eat little
what
bags
you
of
know.
Coolish the whole time. Just suck up some ice cream out of a bag.
Okay,
You're
that
probably
sounds
okay.
delicious.
That's
yeah.
my
I don't think
What is that, like Dippin' Dots or something?
No, it's
Or
just like
astronaut ice
it's
cream?
just a squeezy. You know how the little squeezy bottles full of goo, the little energy on things.
Yeah.
It's like that, but ice cream.
sounds all right.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just sucking
Is it-
ice cream through a tube.
I don't think CC Lemon has shellfish in it.
no.
I might be wrong.
I've
That sounds
tested
great.
that.
I might be wrong.
Yeah,
I've
we
tested
don't
that.
know.
I would keep something like some sort of like I don't know energy bars with you in case you do go to a restaurant and it's like shit. Everything that they have is selfish.
Nothing here but mollusks.
So it's
What
like,
do
all right,
you do?
fuck, here's my goddamn.
I would maybe like get a piece of paper and have someone who writes real good Japanese write, I have a very extreme shellfish allergy. Can you direct me to the non-shellfish on your menu?
just write a manga, actually.
Yeah.
You know, like a 6-panel thing.
Yeah.
It's
There
like,
you
know, eating,
Okay.
Eating shellfish.
eating the
and then
shellfish, 15 minutes later, death.
Yeah.
And they have like, skulls over their eyes.
Yeah, just
and
keeled
stuff,
over
and-
with little X's for eyes.
Yeah.
Should get the point across. Daniel writes in from Seattle. Whenever San Francisco gets brought up, you guys lament over it and always have some negative choice words to say about the city. Being in tech but not in SF, I know I'm part of the problem, and on behalf of my kind, I apologize. We are the worst. So I'll ask the fantasy hypothetical question. If you could move the Giant Bomb office to another American or non-American city, where would you move it and why?
Petaluma.
Don't say Petaluma.
Already there. I would actually probably for really say Chicago.
Chicago is relatively cheap, I
Yeah.
understand, and that's awfully appealing.
I think Seattle makes some sense because there
Seattle's-
are some game companies in the
Yeah.
area, so you could still get some people that are in town for
Yeah.
visits and stuff.
That's the real problem, is that so much of the video game industry revolves around the Bay Area,
Yeah.
that it makes the most logistical sense to be here.
For sure. I think you could make a similar case for LA. There's a dev scene down there.
Yeah,
you know,
That's true. And you're
yeah,
not
totally.
that far from here if you have to come here.
right. But I also would not want to live in LA.
Boston.
I heard some bad things
Yeah.
about Austin.
Yes.
Austin?
Oh,
We
man.
spoke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Oh,
because of
no.
the burgeoning video game
Oh
scene.
yeah, that booming video game business in Boston.
Really blowing up out
Everyone's
there.
But what's up with Austin?
I heard it's just
Heard bad
fucking.
stuff.
Apparently, cost of living has gotten bad
Oh,
in
really?
Austin
like
Wow.
San Francisco bad
rapidly.
Really?
Population's gone up, and like the ability to
All the freeways are
commute,
clogged up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
We were talking to
We were
someone
talking to an Austin resident
Yes.
recently who
very recently that not having
Well, I'll
great
be
things to
there-
say about moving there.
What caused the population boom?
It's just a yeah,
There's a lot of tech in Austin.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
and everyone hearing that Austin was a cool city.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I enjoy it.
I like
Great.
Atlanta. That's picking up for the game
Mm.
industry.
Mhm.
What's over there?
No,
Tripwire?
Adult Swim's there.
Yeah, Adult Swim.
Right.
And stuff, so.
Makers of Smite,
Uh,
High Res.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
High
think
Res.
they're in and around Atlanta. Something.
Tripwire.
What's it? Yeah. Well, like,
I already said
there's
Tripwire.
You say North Carolina out there with
Yeah,
Epic,
yeah.
Epic,
Raleigh
Red
is
Storm,
big
Mhm.
for game. Like yeah, Epic is there. Red Storm,
Insomniac.
I think there's some more at this point.
But at some point, if you're going to move out of this area, it doesn't really matter where you go because like nobody gonna.
If you're not in the
you gonna
center.
cover an Epic game every week, like no, it's just not gonna. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. You could at one point. I remember being in discussions where it was like, man, you would go get a block and a half in Detroit and make it the coolest office space in the world.
Oh man.
Okay.
When things were real cheap there.
Yeah. Just fill it full of arcade machines.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think you could kind of once you're into the idea of not being here.
Yeah.
You just find someplace cheap and just fucking fuck it. We're the world's biggest Cincinnati-based video game website.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kansas City. That's cheap.
I mean, you guys were able to get away with that in Minneapolis, right? Because you actually were the biggest magazine.
Biggest print.
It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you have to come here.
I mean, that's where the first Funko
You
Land
can't-
was.
You
so
can't
it's like
right.
you can't
yeah.
not come to Game Informer. So
Oh yeah, people came to us.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But that was a unique situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
of
And,
having
and
that
now,
reach.
like I'm sure Game Informer probably benefits from like, what is it? Target is there.
Target and Best Buy.
Okay,
So
yeah.
a lot of
so like
times
if
companies,
if they're out there to like pitch to retail and stuff like that,
Yep.
they're going to Game
which
Informer as well.
happened all the time.
Yeah.
You know, there'd always be times where John Vignacchi or John Drake or someone were just coming through town. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta go where the action is.
Mm-hmm.
Email from Mark. I have to ask, is 40 ounces of beer in the U.S. considered a lot? Listening to Jeff say he drank a 40 ounce and played No Man's Sky, suggested it would hit hard.
No.
However, after a Google, in the UK, we actually use imperial and metric a lot, but fluid ounces still elude my understanding. I found it is only the same as 2 pints. Maybe it's a testament to the English way, but 2 pints is often just a lunchtime drink here rather than hitting
It's
it
also
hard.
not beer. It's malt. It's malt liquor.
Malt liquor is a different thing.
It's a different beast.
Yes, you could say that.
Yeah. If you're drinking a 40 ounce of Miller, then yeah, you're whatever. You're
Not a big thing.
like, let's go ride bikes. Like, yeah.
But even like a Mickey's, like 140 is not gonna like get you fucked.
It's not going to
Yeah,
destroy
no,
you.
but that's-
You'll
no,
feel it.
you'll
But
feel
it
it.
is.
But
Yeah.
as someone who has kind of let my tolerance slide a little bit, though, did just fine in Seattle. As someone who had not drank at all in like months at that point, like drinking that 40 of E40's
Yeah.
40, which is called E40.
I'm looking that up to. see
I don't know what the percentage is
trying
on
to
it,
find
but
the
like at the
ABV
end of
in
that,
it.
I was like, oh, okay. There was like a good 20, 25 minutes there where I was drunk.
Huh.
I would say.
Off 140?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was kind of cool.
Nice.
It was kind of cool. Like I could used to be, and I'm sure I could. I mean, I probably could have had another one, and it wouldn't have been like too much worse or anything like that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, like, if I wanted to play 40 hands, I bet I still could, and it would probably be okay.
Thick?
God, he's got. It's surprisingly hard to Google E40's line of alcohol.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of stuff.
He's got the Slurricane, which I had a bottle of that. I drank that whole bottle.
Okay,
Mm.
is that?
It's very
Is
sweet.
that a wine? Is that a?
no? It's
Is it a cocktail, like a bottled cocktail kind of
it
thing?
might be a fortified wine, actually.
Okay. Apparently,
I
he
forget.
has his own beer, which is different than the 40.
Yeah.
It's called E40 beer.
Okay. Makes sense.
Creative branding. Anyway, I cannot find the ABV of.
It tastes.
But
like,
let's say
it
it's a
tastes
lot.
basically like Mickey's.
When we do those Film in 40s episodes, at the end of it, I don't know. There's a point in the middle where everything's real loose.
Is
I
it?
always
Is
find
it?
a
But at
movie-
the end, you're like, okay,
I mean,
back
do you
to
have
normal.
do you have a
pretty much,
rule
yeah,
of
that's-
140?
We don't have a rule. In fact, I've tried to get 4 before, but you think that 2? Well, no, 2
Oh,
each.
okay.
But I don't know. 2 is usually my sweet spot, I think, for watching a movie. But film in 40s, I think we've
Film in
we've
40s is
done
tough because we
one.
have to, like, the way that we record it, we have to do it all in one go.
Yeah.
We can't pause really.
Yeah.
So
That's rough.
Peeing.
Yeah.
Especially
Starts to
for
become
me.
a bladder issue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Start bringing some catheters in.
Mhm.
Film in 40s and catheters.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a party.
And then film it.
Alan writes in from Glasgow and asks, is Hideo Kojima the Quentin Tarantino of video games?
Nah,
Both-
he's more interesting than that.
I'll read his
okay.
argument. Both are outspoken auteurs who like to slap their name all over their products.
Outspoken, I wouldn't necessarily say.
Both like to, Tarantino definitely is.
Oh, Tarantino, yeah.
Kojima, kind of.
I mean,
Both.
He's got stuff to say.
He's out there
Okay.
talking about spaghetti. He's out on Twitter, fucking taking pictures of food. Like, it's not-
Words and deeds and shit, Both like to showcase their influences and inspirations within their works. Both are divisive individuals with a potentially irritating fan base, but whose end product is undeniably impressive. Both of them get away with stuff that no one else would be allowed to do because of the weight their name brings. Also,
Yeah.
they both seem pretty nuts.
I can see some of those comparisons.
Yeah, some of them, sure.
I think that stuff lines up.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily compare them. I don't think that. Yes, there are similarities, but I think the type of work, the types of ways that Tarantino is outspoken and the way that goes into his work is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're both huge like film buffs.
True. Also, he ends by asking who is the Lars von Trier of video games, which, man, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Who's the saddest game developer you can think of? Maybe don't answer that.
Yeah, maybe we move on.
Let's just move on to another email.
That burn is too fucking
I didn't
icy.
I didn't necessarily mean it that way, but okay. Okay. Jacob Lee from Tampa, Florida writes in about Chief J Strongbow.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Wow.
I'm writing with an inquiry for Jeff or Dan in particular
Oh,
about my late great uncle, Joseph Scarpa, a.k.a. Chief J Strongbow.
Oh, wow.
Who wrestled for a long time way back when with Jake the Snake and the like. I believe he was inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame maybe a decade or so ago. My
Sounds
question
about right.
is, I wanted to know if you have any memorable moments that you might be able to share if you had ever seen him wrestle. His gimmick was that he had Native American theme and would wear a traditional Apache headdress when he would enter the ring. His signature move was the tomahawk chop. I'm indirectly related to him through my grandfather's sister, who was his wife. My grandfather has told me a lot about his career and some crazy stories about him playing golf with a group of wrestling superstars and incidents that may or may not have involved the Italian mob in Atlanta, Georgia.
Sure.
However, I have never actually seen him wrestle in person. Anyways, he was a kind old man, and I just wanted to know if you had any interesting or cool memories of him.
I mean, he was kind of before my time.
Yeah.
Okay, is he pretty old
but
school?
You heard him referenced a lot in those early days for sure, and even now, Chief J Strongbow has come up in rap songs.
Oh, wow.
He's that level of performer.
Okay.
And I bet if you were a WWE Network subscriber, you could find
Yeah.
some of his matches there because
Okay.
they have a growing base of older shit.
Can you search by wrestler?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
Search is not
with
great.
one exception. Yeah, so you could look him up.
I remember him as when I was a kid, Tatanka. They were trying to make a big deal out of him, and they brought Strongbow out.
They brought Strongbow into
not like as a permanent manager, but like he's basically just
Pass the torch a
passing the
little bit.
torch,
Oh,
like
wow.
the
Okay.
great traditions of my people and stuff. And yeah.
When you're talking back in the day, is this like pre-Hogan?
This would have been very early Hogan, like pre Hulk Hogan.
Or maybe-
being
I mean, he
the
was
biggest
fighting
thing
like
in the
Ric
world,
Flair
but-
and stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
maybe
I guess
Andre
so,
the
yeah.
Giant era.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he would've been
This would have
around.
been like 70s.
70s. Okay.
70s was probably his heyday, but
Got
I think he certainly wrestled into the 80s.
Okay.
Mhm.
He had to have.
All right.
Tatanka.
I like Tatanka's small part in Natural Born Killers.
I forgot he was in that.
I mean, he's technically not. He's just on TV, like Rodney Dangerfield's watching wrestling.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
And it's Tatanka.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Hey, remember when he was in WrestleMania this year?
Oh yeah.
All right, huh?
Yeah.
Well, all right, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
I liked him a lot. I was really beat up when he turned bad. $1 Million Man.
I was
bought
not,
him.
not a Tatanka fan.
He'll be back.
That was probably around the time I stopped watching wrestling.
That was the time I started watching wrestling.
This is all terrible.
Man. Tatanka killed it for Jeff and brought
Started
Dan
it for
in.
me. Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
Lex
Dan.
Luger.
All right, Dan.
Every
Yeah,
time a
there's-
door closes, a window opens.
If there's one way
Brother.
to get you to stop talking about wrestling, it's this. Matt from Queens writes in. Whenever a Zelda game is brought up on the show, Dan defends it as being a, quote, top 5 Zelda. I'm fairly certain at this point he has done this for more than 5 Zelda titles, rendering the argument useless. So I ask you to rank all Zelda games, including a top 5 that all of you are comfortable signing off on. I wouldn't.
Well, that's weird. But...
I wouldn't limit this to living room consoles, as I personally have Link Between Worlds in my top 5.
Yes, me too.
And would put Link's Awakening ahead of Twilight Princess.
No.
But I will leave it to you, the experts.
All right, let's get the let's get some ground rules here.
I have gone to one video game wiki.
Well, I can name them all here.
A franchise. No, I've got a list of the entire Zelda franchise.
I want to get the rules down though. No Triforce Heroes, no Four Swords. We're talking traditional single-player dungeon-based
I'm going
Zelda
to
games.
read the name of every Zelda game.
Those games are bad. They're not going to be in the top 5 anyway.
Well, he was saying rank every Zelda game. I'm
I
saying
thought we're just going to rank a 5.
I think he
ranking
said
every one.
I think he said all.
I don't think we need to put all 39 of these games in
No,
order.
there's like 15 core Zelda games.
But I'm going to go down the line and read these games.
All right.
And you can write them down.
I'll write down the ones that count.
This is literally every game.
I'll just do it right now.
It's literally every game on our Zelda franchise page. The Legend of Zelda Tetris Trackers.
Right.
Because that one doesn't have a date attached, so it's at the end. BS Zelda no Densetsu is...
That doesn't
That's
count.
that Satellaview.
Okay, I
That's
think
kind of it's a remake of
the
the
first
first
one.
Yes, I think those got sorted weirdly to the beginning of the chronology. All right, here's the actual chronology. Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2. I don't know how fast you can write.
I'm doing it off memory here. I'm way ahead of you.
Zelda: A Link to the Past, Link: The Faces of Evil.
No, the CDI ones don't
Yeah,
count.
that's a good one.
Yeah, Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon.
Definitely top 5.
It's got Zelda right in the title.
Write it down. Write it down.
Link's Awakening,
Yep, that counts.
Zelda's Adventure
Which one's that?
for the CDI.
Oh, that's the other. Okay, right.
No.
Again,
Yeah.
Zelda right in the name.
Write it.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary. Let's see. Link's Awakening DX, I guess.
No,
is
that's
basically
the
same
remake.
game.
It's just color and one extra
it's
diamond.
not really that different. Ocarina of Time,
We probably shouldn't have 2 pages for that.
Majora's Mask. I'll put in a merge request.
Should probably cut Majora's Mask just
Nope.
now.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
For being a bottom 5 Zelda game.
Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. That's a weird one.
They both count. They're different games.
I guess so. Yeah.
Ages is better. Seasons should be right below that.
Okay. Link to the Past and Four Swords.
Four Swords doesn't. Well,
I
that's
guess
just the
Four
GBA
Swords is
release.
just a mode in.
Yeah, that's not a real thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Is that GBA Link to the Past like different?
They have
in
stuff
any
so like
significant way?
Yeah, like the boomerang can cut through bushes.
Okay.
I think there might be. God, there's a couple little differences. The boomerang's the main one I remember. Might be a sound effect thing, or like they move some HUD elements or something. I think they have 4 separate inventory slots for the bottles instead of hovering over it, and then it shows you the sub window.
Okay. We've got that Ocarina of Time Master Quest weird freebie release on here.
That thing's really cool, but I don't
it
count
is
that
very
as a separate
cool. But
thing.
yeah,
I love
guess
that.
it's not- yeah. The Wind Waker.
Yes.
I've heard of that.
Four Swords Adventures.
No.
Dude,
Yes.
write it down.
It
That does
counts.
not-
but
that
it's-
does
it's
not count.
It counts, but it's not a top 5 Zelda.
But it's not even a traditional. I'm talking single player Zelda games. I'm not going to count. No, Four Swords Adventures does not count. That is a multiplayer party game.
We're picking 5 games.
He said rank them all. I
No,
think
I didn't
there's
say
15.
that. I
That's what the
explicitly
email
said. I explicitly said we were not going to rank all 39 games.
Okay. I'm not counting Four Swords.
I am.
That's right.
I am.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Minish Cap.
Yep. That's a great one.
Freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. Twilight Princess. I mean, if we're arbitrarily deciding what doesn't count, let's just say Twilight Princess doesn't count.
Sure. Yeah.
No, there's 15 that count.
Tingle's Balloon Fight DS.
All right.
Phantom Hourglass.
Mm-hmm.
Link's Crossbow Training.
Nope.
Spirit Tracks.
Unfortunately.
You're not even writing down anymore.
I mean, I wrote them all down.
Okay.
I wrote all the ones that count.
Ocarina of Time 3D, not really that different.
No.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword.
Oh, right.
Link Between Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Hyrule Warriors?
No.
Write it.
Even I
Write
can
it.
Nope.
agree with that one. Triforce Heroes was not really, that was a weird thing. And then Breath of the Wild, which I think is a bit premature.
All right. So I have the 15 that count here. Are we just going to do the top 5? I can move the. I'll star the contenders here. Well, first of all, are we talking about to play now, or are we talking about?
Let's get the games out of the way that we know are 100,000 fucking % on this list.
Okay, well, hang on. Are we
The Wind
talking
Waker.
about? Are we talking about to play right now or for their time?
I think that will, I don't know.
Because Link to the Past is a better game,
will
but
become-
Zelda
that-
1 was fucking
that will become
insane.
apparent in the course of discussing these things.
Okay, well, let's star the ones that are for sure part of the conversation.
The Wind Waker.
Yes.
Yeah. Wind Waker, A Link to the Past.
The first
The
one.
first one.
Ocarina.
Ocarina.
And
then we
Link
got-
Between Worlds. Link Between Worlds.
Would you call that the 5?
Hang on, let me see
that's-
here.
that's
Here,
you
let's
saying
cross
that's the
out
5.
ones that are definitely not on there. Spirit Tracks, fuck that. Is everyone okay with that?
I didn't hate Spirit Tracks, but it's not a top 5 Zelda game.
It's near the bottom for me. Is everyone okay with taking it off top 5?
Yeah.
What if Spirit Tracks?
Oh Jesus!
I'll do
Christ.
10. Let's do 10.
All right.
I'd love to do 10. Okay, so we need to cross off 4 more. Zelda 2, I say we cut.
In
a top 10?
I would say that's definitely a top 10 Zelda game.
Yeah, no way that it goes from
I
the
like
top 10.
I like all of these other games better than Zelda 2.
I mean,
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay, I mean,
Wrong,
if this
yeah.
is the giant bomb list, then I have to respect that. Okay, what's number 1?
Link to the Past.
That's yeah.
And then Ocarina.
Although Link to the Past, although I would say that if you're starting one now, Link Between Worlds is probably better.
I could get behind that.
Yeah, probably. If you're starting one now, yeah.
Yeah, but
wouldn't
all
say that
time
it's
Link to the Past.
better.
So okay, Link to the
Link to
Past.
the Past is weird though. I mean, it's like it's less indicative of the overall Zelda experience because of the way they handle items and all that other stuff. It's kind of a different.
How so?
It's kind of a weird thing.
Link
Like
to
the
the
renting
Past?
items.
No, you
are-
meant-
Oh, Link
no,
Between
you
Worlds.
meant
Oh
the
yeah,
Worlds.
that's totally
like that's a
different.
weird
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, but I think it all works.
Like if you're living in a world where you wanted to cross out the CDI games and the Four Swords and all that other stuff, like A Link Between Worlds probably goes for some of those same
the
reasons.
CDI ones weren't
Yeah.
made by Nintendo, and they're
whatever,
not
but
single player
but like
dungeon
Hyrule
based.
Warrior,
you know,
I get
but
the point
also,
is,
you know, like it's a different thing. You know, it's up there.
It's still a single player dungeon
and
based
also
Zelda game.
Between Worlds is largely dependent on nostalgia for Link to the Past.
I think
it's a
it would
great game.
hold
It's a
up.
great
It is
game.
a great game.
It's a great game, but
Okay, so we got Link to the Past
it's fairly derivative.
at number 1.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
2, I would go with Ocarina. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
Uh,
Guess
3, I think Wind Waker, if you count the HD version. I think the HD version did some real great stuff to that game.
I might say Zelda 1, then Wind Waker.
They're both so good. I think Majora's in the conversation.
In a top 10? No way.
No, I mean for number 3.
What?
Majora's a top 5
What?
contender for sure.
No, it isn't. We built a top 5 and it wasn't even in the conversation.
No, we starred ones that are going to be part of the.
But those first ones we starred were the 5 fucking when it was before it became a top 10
There's
list.
also a star next to
those
Majora.
those
Just made it.
stars are the fucking 5.
you just drew that
No, I didn't. That was the
That
first
doesn't
one I
count.
drew. That was the first one I drew.
at all.
I would put the vote in for Wind Waker, I think.
I
and
could
then
see
one.
that. I could see
At-
that.
Are we
What,
fine with Wind
number
Waker
3?
for 3 and the first one for 4?
I could see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are generally in the right spot, and their actual order is something I care a little bit less about.
Okay, so now let's get to 5. I would Link Between Worlds. I would say, or it's between Link Between Worlds and Majora for me.
I'd say Link Between Worlds is probably like that's a top 5 Zelda
Yeah,
game.
I can see that making the top 5.
All right, can we do Majora at 6?
No.
All right.
I would say I'm trying to look at your list here.
Between Worlds is
I would
covered.
sooner play Spirit Tracks.
No.
I think Minish Cap might be a good dark horse here.
Minish Cap is awesome.
Minish Cap
Minish Cap is
I-
really good.
I played through it again like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome.
I don't think that game gets
still.
enough credit.
It's super good.
Uh,
Let me see what else we have though first. I like both Oracle games. Twilight Princess is still really good. The dungeons are great. Just played through that with the HD one. Okay, so Ocarina. All right, so contenders for the next one, for number 6. I'd say Majora, Twilight, Minish Cap. I'd say those are the contenders. right?
I'm heavily biased towards Zelda games that tried new stuff, such as Zelda 2 and Phantom Hourglass.
And Majora's?
No.
That tried
That
maybe
was-
the most new stuff?
No, that was built out of another Zelda game.
The
Is
engine,
by
but the gameplay
definition-
concepts are so
It
different.
was like a fucking ROM hack.
God.
I
I would say Majora for number 6. That's my vote.
I'd say Minish Cap.
Minish Cap for sure.
If the consensus is that, I would not argue that because that game is great still.
How do you guys feel about Phantom Hourglass?
It's good. It's very good.
Hang on.
You could draw on the map where your ship would
close,
go.
You could close the damn
Right.
DS.
Fucking
and
so
print
cool.
the map on the
yeah,
other
you
side
would
of it.
literally like
Awesome.
print one screen to another.
I
by
might say Minish Cap, then
sticking them
Phantom
together.
Hourglass.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We're not putting Phantom Hourglass above Majora's Mask.
I think we are.
No,
I think
no,
we
no.
just did.
I mean, if we're accepting that Majora's Mask is a terrible game,
No.
then I don't know that it's on this list at all.
I can't let Majora go below 7.
Why not?
I would say we can do Majora and then Phantom Hourglass. Actually, no, because Twilight's better than Phantom Hourglass. Twilight's
and
definitely
Twilight's better than Majora's Mask.
No, boy. We got a pickle here. I know people are going to freak out about Link's Awakening, but I think that's pretty overrated.
That's still a really good game.
It's very good. It's would be near the bottom of my top 10 if it even makes it on there. I'd put both Oracles and Minish Cap above that.
Yes, I would do that also.
And the Link's Awakening DX is much better with the color and everything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we talk about that game, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so 7. We're gonna have to compromise at some point here.
Oh, I don't know.
Phantom Hourglass?
4 Swords. I want it back in the conversation. God damn it.
Look, is there any we can cross off here? I think Zelda 2, or is Zelda 2 gonna make our top 10?
I think it totally should.
I think it totally should too.
What's number 7? What's the next one?
I would probably say Phantom Hourglass.
I would agree with that.
No.
So you're saying Twilight
Compelling.
Princess then?
I would put Twilight or Majora. If it's an easier sell to get you guys to put Twilight above that, I'll say Twilight.
So
But
you have no
both-
courage in your convictions is what I'm hearing then.
I'm saying both Twilight and Majora are better than Phantom Hourglass. I love Phantom Hourglass, but Twilight and Majora are both better.
I would probably...
If I can at least get one of them above Phantom Hourglass, I'll concede that. So
I would probably say they're both above Majora's.
But in what order?
Can we do Twilight above?
I mean, Twilight's real problem is that it came out after a long run of fantastic Zelda games, and it was not enough. You know, it was like, hey, here's one more of these. Even though we're moving to a new platform, here's this other GameCube thing. It's just like it was that sin of just like, all right, you've made a lot of these now since Ocarina, and
I think they got afraid because they got so different with Wind Waker and Majora, and everyone just wanted like better looking Ocarina. And I think they were so focused on making it so like the art style isn't really that interesting. Gameplay wise, it doesn't do that much.
Yeah.
But going back now
and the stuff it does do, like the wolf stuff, I think is just kind of bad.
I'm not big on the wolf stuff.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like a lot of good arguments against Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I just played through it again on HD or the Wii U, and I was actually impressed. I liked it way more this time. It was removed from all those expectations.
I think it and Phantom Hourglass are our next two games.
Okay.
Regardless.
Can we do Twilight next?
I guess I would be reasonably okay with that.
I don't think I care.
I don't care enough about it.
Okay.
But
And I'm starting to have to go to the bathroom, so
Right. Twilight Princess is number 7. Phantom is 8. And the Majora 9?
well, I think Zelda 2 then
Yeah.
Majora.
Yeah.
Give your 2 argument.
It's
Zelda 2 is a better
fucking
game than Majora's
super
Mask.
different.
There's my
and
argument.
Awesome and crazy. And when you played it, you were like, man, they took it in such a different direction,
Yeah.
but it still evokes a lot of this stuff.
I don't think it does evoke a lot of what makes Zelda great.
It gives it enhanced swordplay with that fucking hold down to pounce on people, and
it's got a
high
boss-
low stuff with the shield.
I hate
guy.
the
Got a
high-low
boss called
stuff.
Horsehead.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
does.
that guy's a fucking
Yeah.
horsehead. You fight Dark Link, it establishes Dark Link in the canon.
Minish Cap is gone. I don't think it evokes Zelda stuff at all, outside of the characters.
I think it does interesting stuff with the Zelda stuff where it kind of leans into that stuff here and there, but also expands on these systems in really crazy ways. The magic system was really weird, and
It was very weird. It had a leveling up.
error is in that game.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
The lady with the water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Good music.
we can probably agree that with 2 spots left, neither Oracle game is going to make it on. And Skyward Sword's definitely not making it on, right?
Skyward Sword is definitely not making it.
Right, that's a low one. Both Oracles down?
I mean,
off on the list.
I would put an Oracle game on there before I put Majora.
Yeah, same.
That's insanity.
I would put Zelda 2 and then Ages, I guess.
I forget. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But
I'll let you put Zelda 2 next if
So
I
wait,
can
hang-
get Majora on there at 10.
hang on. So Link's Awakening is not making this top 10 at
I don't
all?
think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
Phantom Hourglass and Minish Cap are better games.
Yes.
But also, I would
And both
I would
Oracles.
say Link's Awakening is better than Majora's.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like for me, Majora's Mask is down around like CDI territory on this list. Like it has no value.
Oh, man.
Like it might as well be Hyrule Warriors.
Hmm.
It's just like this thing's barely even
I
a
think
Zelda
you're just
game.
saying crazy things now.
It's their dumb experiment that like, hey, congratulations for getting to make this experiment. Unfortunately, it failed on every possible level.
That's insane.
So yeah, I would say Zelda 2 next.
I'll let you have Zelda 2 next if you'll concede Majora at 10.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I mean, if we have to build a group list, then fine.
Okay.
we'll let you put your batshit bad game on here at the bottom.
Okay, the official
symbolically.
Can I have 11? Can I have 4 swords at 11?
That's not a real Zelda game.
Can I have 4? It's fucking canon.
In your head, hey, if you want to write it
it's
on a piece of
fucking
paper,
canon
you can
and
do
it's
it.
fun. So fuck you.
You
I
can
want
write that on your paper.
This is
The
our list.
official Giant
I'm
Bomb
part
list.
of this group.
The
Can
official.
we put Pac-Man Versus at 11?
Okay. All right.
Okay, the official Giant Bomb ranking of Zelda games. Number 10, Majora's Mask. Number 9, Zelda 2. Number 8, Phantom Hourglass. 7, Twilight Princess. 6, Minish Cap. 5, Link Between Worlds. 4, The Legend of Zelda. 3, The Wind Waker. 2, Ocarina of Time. And 1, Link to the Past.
Sure.
Not a perfect list, but it'll do.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
It will do.
11 4 swords.
I should probably play a Zelda game at some point.
You know.
Yeah.
I played
Wait.
maybe 10 hours of Link Between Worlds. I've never beaten one.
All right. Before I leave San Francisco,
Sitting here think
The Legend of
the
Scanlan.
legend of Zeldrew.
The Legend of
No,
Scanlan.
just careful. Careful what you say out loud.
You're writing checks my body can't cash.
The Wand of Scanalon.
He only plays the CDI one.
Yeah, the good ones.
All right.
The most
That's real
playable
good.
of the bunch.
I wonder if we could even
I could bring my CDI back
get
in.
video out of a
Oh,
CD.
man.
I
We-
guess
we
so.
did
I guess
it.
it's
We-
got.
yeah,
Right.
we
Yeah.
ran
Do
that
you
video.
have the Zelda
Maybe
games?
that's true.
Yeah.
Big ass
I've never
stream.
played those.
Wait, weren't you here? You were here for that stream.
Did we do the
We
Zelda
played
one?
Thunder in
Yeah.
Paradise.
I remember Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did some of the.
We got Zelda
Checked
one?
out.
Yeah,
I think we
one of
checked
them.
out.
We
I
did
don't
one of
remember
them.
a lot of it because I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I remember the animation. Okay, yeah, the animation being real weird.
Yep.
It was bad. It's very bad.
It's all like this. It's just
Yeah.
like the king talking to you like this. It's fucked up.
Oh, that was so
It
good.
all looked like that old Dr. Katz show on Comedy Central.
But not on purpose. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was purposefully squiggly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well,
That sounds pretty good.
put a stamp on it, I guess.
There you
There's
have
an
it.
official recommendation of the best Zelda games ever made.
This
A
is-
great
yeah.
top 9.
It's
Yes. There are 9 Zelda games worth playing.
And then everything else is tied for 10th.
Majora's top 5.
It's a wide field. Let's see. There's an email from Rich. Having been reviewing games for what must be 100 plus years collectively, do you ever find yourself still getting caught up in the hype of the pre-game lead-up? I personally still pre-order games and buy into a lot of hype, even when they don't live up to my expectations or personal hype. Being disappointed is still part of the experience for me. As my dad always said, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
We'll never pre-order under
Yes,
really
I mean,
any
with-
circumstances.
yeah.
Yeah. We see games a lot pre-release, so we kind of
Have a better.
like
clearer
I
picture.
think that will inform some of that stuff a little bit, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, no.
I mean, I guess it's what do you define as getting caught up in something?
Yeah.
Like we
If
get
anything, like
interested
the-
in games.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
we got
yeah.
interested in No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
with
he
their
didn't-
pre-release coverage.
He didn't mention that game, but that was clearly, I mean, we got other emails to the same effect. That's clearly what has inspired this conversation.
If anything,
Um,
it seems like the games that are like going out there in a more constant and desperate way, at some point it rolls back around and you're like, this game might be broken
Mm-hmm.
with or this might be totally fucked with the way they are over marketing it. So yeah, I mean that stuff can have either effect, I guess. But
I think
but
you assume a certain level of skepticism,
right.
regardless. You have to.
And also there's that knowledge of like, well, I'm going to get this in here and see it for myself, so
Yeah.
I don't have to care about any of this stuff right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't really watch trailers for games anymore,
No,
unless
neither.
someone says like, "Oh shit, you got it." If it's a new announcement, maybe I'll watch it then. But like the 9th trailer of an Assassin's Creed game, don't watch it.
Oh, the big ones like Mario, Zelda, and Metal Gear are my big ones that I will watch everything. But yeah, otherwise I like to just kind of wait until I have it. Like I don't like even doing betas. Like I love Titanfall and I'm super excited about Titanfall 2, but I just want to have the full game when it comes out. And as far as like pre-release hype, I remember being so hyped up for Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. Like the idea of it, because
Shadow 2.
right, because I loved the first one. I really like Lords of Shadow a lot.
yeah.
And I remember by the end, I don't know what this face is, the Brad's making, that's a good game. At the end with the whole
No.
vampires in modern day or whatever, I was like, that sounds,
yeah,
that
and
could
then
be
I will
really
give you
cool.
that. I will give
Yeah.
you that. The
Yes.
ending of Lords of Shadow when Vinny showed
Yeah.
it to us, it was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And I was
But then
so
the-
excited
yeah.
about the idea of what they do with that. But then I waited. I didn't pre-order Lords of Shadow 2, and then it came out, and I think like Tim Turrier or something started reviewing it at Game Informer and told me like, "Oh, this is a terrible game.
Yeah.
This is really bad."
And that's something coming from Tim.
yeah,
for
actually no. I think it was Jeff. Now that I
Really?
think about it, yeah.
Okay.
I think even Tim didn't like it.
That's
Wow.
true.
Yeah, but I've never even played that game just because I went from being super duper excited about it pre-release to, oh, it sounds like it's bad. So, I'm glad I didn't pre-order it.
I like to think no matter how enthusiastic we get about stuff that there is an implicit kind of disclaimer there that like, hey, this is all based on what they've shown.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
This
This
is
could all go
contingent.
bad.
Yeah, this is all contingent on how it actually turns out, but maybe that's not as evident.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Always.
we certainly sometimes we come away from seeing pre-release stuff like really excited about like, oh, if that is informing the rest of this game, then that's really cool.
Like
Yeah,
certainly
it's if they pull this off.
Like I went back,
Always
I went back and
in my
looked at like the old trailers for No Man's Sky after
Yeah.
it came out, and just even like the decks we were writing on the trailers were extremely enthusiastic. Like we were very very big on that idea. But it's all contingent on how the actual game turns out.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Titanfall 2 is I was happy to get a chance to play it and like playing one match at E3 and going like this seems fun and being able to see it across a couple of weekends, and they made some changes across the two and all that sort of stuff. Like I am tentatively extremely interested in that game, but there's stuff in that build that that are like red flags where you're just like, oh, okay, if this is an indicative of the direction with their modes, then that's probably a problem. A lot of it's contingent on like, well, they're showing menus that imply that there are more weapons, but if those weapons aren't doing this, and this, then they don't matter. There's a lot of stuff like that that I think comes out of us seeing games prior to release, where it's like, okay, there's really promising stuff here.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rest of the game is like that, though there's never a guarantee that that's the case.
Or sometimes it's based on what we're being told,
Precisely.
and not seeing. And anytime we're enthusiastic about that stuff, it's always with the knowledge that could fall apart, that could not be delivered in the end.
Or that it could be better.
Yeah.
Like Doom.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What a weird year of highs and lows in terms of expectations and delivery. Holy shit.
Like even Hitman, just
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the nature of its late game changes.
Like literally covered that beta out of like a sense of like that old coverage obligation of like Hitman's a game people care about. We should do a video of this. Like I think Dan just happened to be free at the time, so I was like, come sit in on this.
Yeah.
And then holy shit, came out of that thing going like, yeah, it's been a strange year for games surprising you. Tom writes
Some
in
might say there's never been a better time to be playing video games.
Indeed, yes. Tom writes in from Washington, D.C. I'm not sure how closely any of you follow this type of thing, but have you seen any change in web traffic now that videogames.com redirects to Giant Bomb?
No.
Well, there you have it. I have no idea if generic domain names matter anymore because I'm old, but it would be interesting to hear.
Bro, we got a 4-character domain name.
That's right. We got nuke.com.
That's true.
That's where all the real traffic's coming from.
Yeah.
No, that stuff doesn't matter one bit.
Yeah, his general question of do people go type like thingofinterest.com into a web browser anymore doesn't really happen so much.
No. And even if they did, if they just typed in video games, that wouldn't lead them here.
It just gives you a Google search, not in every browser I can think of. Still pretty awesome to have, though.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. Chris from Springfield, Missouri writes in with an email that I'm super skeptical about, but potentially exciting, and Jeff might have some thoughts on it. I'll keep this short. I'm friends with, also I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this guy's name, but I'm friends with Dion Chodaboy Bashar on Facebook.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And earlier this month, he actually confirmed that yes, there is indeed a sequel to Orgasmo in the works, dubbed Orgasmo 2, The Return of Chodaboy.
Oh.
Whether it's too late for a sequel, probably yes, is a whole different question. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I thought they had the name of the sequel like spelled out in the first movie, and it was not that.
Like in fiction, like in world, they had an Orgasmo 2?
Well, so the end of Orgasmo 1 really sets up a villain. The main bad guy from Orgasmo 1 is set up in a way that, he would be completely impervious to all of Orgasmo's power.
Sure.
As he seeks revenge for what happened to him. So calling it The Return of Chodaboy would actually be... I don't understand why you would call it that. Other than he is the actor who played Chodaboy.
That sounds like something
and
the guy
he's
who
just
played Chodaboy would say.
Yeah.
Especially if he hasn't done a whole lot since then. Has he?
I don't know.
I mean,
He's probably in... Well, he was in a lot of this. He was in like Cannibal the Musical.
Yeah, he was
I
just
think.
like a friend
he
of
was
Trey
just
and Matt,
like
right?
one of their
Some of that
guys
stuff,
or something.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's.
I've loved South Park for a long time, and I've never liked any of their live action stuff.
But did you-
Basketball
have you seen
or
Orgasmo?
Orgasmo.
You didn't
Yeah.
like it?
I liked
Really?
basketball.
I've never
I thought
seen
that
one.
was
There-
pretty good too.
there are
It
funny
was
little
like a
jokes
good,
in both of
dumb
them.
Movie, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I don't hate either of them.
Yes,
But, like, I
like,
hate Cannibal the Musical, even all that stuff. Like, I just don't
I'm not,
get
I'm not
into
a big
it.
Cannibal fan. Like, yeah, basketball I thought was good, but like, yeah, like you're right. It's like it's a string of bits that work, and then like the overall framework is maybe not great. But actually, Orgasmo, start to finish, I have zero problems with it.
How do you classify
good
Team
movie.
America?
Team America, I love. I think that's great.
It's like I'm largely indifferent to Team America.
Huh.
It's like it's fine.
I like their voice work and their writing a lot. I don't necessarily like their acting or their live action stuff. So, yeah, South Park and Team America, I like a lot.
The somewhat stilted acting is part of what makes Orgasmo so great.
Okay. I don't remember much
He's
about
fucking flipping
Orgasmo.
over that car into the fucking Buick Century, and it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Good,
Also,
good
I'll-
soundtrack too.
Now Your Man is great.
I'll,
yes.
I'll give it to Chota Boy. He has worked steadily
Oh yeah.
No.
since then.
I bet.
He's not wanting for roles, according to this. All right. Last email. Justin from the East Bay. Of course, that's where an email like this would come from. Per your recent discussion on Adam Jensen's robot butt,
Robot.
do you think his anus is like an SLR camera shutter?
Now I do.
Okay. Enough said.
It's sharp on the edges on the inside for
Yeah,
cutting
it's
purposes.
got that sort of telescoping that twist
to snip stuff
It
off.
sounds like
Couldn't it
When
be
it
one of the
opens.
like cigarette lighters that you have in cars?
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, his follow up was if not, what asshole does he have? So
Probably
all
a
right, there you
cigarette
go.
lighter.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
I guess it could
Oh,
go
you
either
just
way.
or
plug
like-
in like the electric car, like the Tesla charger, just
Yeah.
to, like, when he's got to juice back up.
Or could it be like a garbage disposal? And that does he eat human food?
Yeah,
He
'cause
does?
You get beer
And
in
then
that
it just-
game and
yeah,
drink
you
it,
can
and,
drink beer.
There's,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if he, solid food, he'd be able to like compost and like.
I
garbage
assume his
disposal.
system is just optimally built to where there is no waste that doesn't excrete itself in some other form.
Okay.
All gets funneled into biocells,
Yeah,
and then the empty biocell cartridges come out of there.
right. Yeah.
Okay. Glad we've established that. All right, that's going to do it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Dan, welcome back.
Thank you. I hope you're ready for 4 Mario parties.
Yeah.
Yeah!
We're gonna fucking nail these things.
That'll be
I'm gonna win all 4.
a thing.
Do you guys want to do? How do you want to space these out?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Over
Yeah.
the course of years.
Yeah.
Preferably.
I don't think we have years.
Wow.
We have months.
Yeah.
Each game
we have a
takes
few
years
months.
off
We-
our
kind of.
life,
I think we
so-
could do 1 a month, 1 a week,
the same
one
months.
a day, or all in one day.
The same months when a zillion games are coming out and we have to get Game of the Year done. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll figure it out.
I can't believe I'm saying this. We should probably get started sooner than later.
I agree.
Move on with our lives. All right. Well, welcome back. We're glad to have
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back.
Memberships are on sale. Did I say? I
Yes,
said
you
that.
mentioned that.
Yep.
Go to the website. Get upgrade your membership.
It was a long PAX, wasn't it?
Oh boy.
Some good 1,000-yard stairs going on in here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to call it a show then. That's been the Giant Bombcast. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys back here same time next week.